But the teams are coming out here from down to our right. We're sat at the bottom of the top tier of the Ian Greaves stand. Mansfield in their regulation yellow and blue. Wrexham in their change strip today of all black. Shirts, shorts and socks. And they're just lining up to do the preliminaries before we get underway here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL, to see what happens here as Wrexham trying to chase down Wycombe, certainly for an automatic promotion spot. Wycombe could only draw 0-0 with Wigan yesterday at Adams Park. So there is an opportunity for Wrexham to close the gap in League One. At the moment, they are 6 points behind the Chairboys with the game in hand that they're playing today. 58 points they've got from 31 played. Wycombe 64 from 32 played. Birmingham still top of the pile, 70 points, and they played 30. They've got a game in hand on Wrexham, never mind the two they've got in hand on Wycombe. Let's run you through the team lineups once again if you're just tuning into our live commentary. Plenty of changes for both sides. Here's the Mansfield lineup. Scott Flinders has come in goal. In front of him, a back three completely changed from last time out of Jordan Bowery, Alfie Kilgore and Aidan Flint. Callum McDonald, Keanu Bacchus, Lewis Reed, George Maris and Stephen McLaughlin across midfield in a 5, and then Will Evans and Caelan Vickers will be the front two. As for Wrexham, they also play a similar system. Arthur Okwanko is back in goal. Mark Howard was in goal last time out. Max Cleworth, Owen O'Connell and Thomas O'Connor are the three centre-halves. Ryan Longman preferred at right wing-back to Ryan Barnett. George Dobson, Andy Cannon, Ollie Rathbone and Sebastian Revan in midfield. No James McLean today in the squad for Wrexham, so Revan comes in on that left-hand side. And then Sam Smith and Jay Rodriguez, their January signings, brought in at some expense, either wage bill or transfer fee. They will lead the line. And then on the bench for Mansfield, Pym, Lewis, Wayne, Oshilaja, Craig, Rhodes and Boateng. The Wrexham bench, Howard, Mullin, Marriott, Scar, Fletcher, Barnett and James. And the two captains, Alfie Kilgore and Owen O'Connell, just doing the handshakes on the halfway line. And Alfie Kilgore, I don't think he's anywhere near 100% fit, Courtney Sweetenberg-Kirk, but needs must, because the one thing that Mansfield don't have is very many fit players.
Yeah, exactly, going through such an injury crisis at the moment, so it's a little bit of mend and make do at the moment.
So Mansfield will get us underway, kicking towards the James Brunt stand to our left. So Wrexham in their change strip of the all black shirts, shorts and socks will be kicking towards the south stand to our right. 6 points off an automatic spot for Wrexham, 6 points ahead of the relegation zone for Mansfield Town. Whoever loses this game will feel a bit of a pinch as we're underway with Mansfield in their yellow and blue, working the ball back early to Aidan Flint, who looks like he's playing at the centre of the three centre-halves. McLaughlin works it up to halfway, but George Dobson wins it for Wrexham and they tidy the ball up and send it back for their captain O'Connell. And then O'Connor, just to the left, shy of the halfway line, fires a ball into the feet of Sam Smith, who chests it down trying to get Rodriguez in, but Mansfield win it back, and Caelan Vickers striding down the inside left channel. The on-loan striker works into the box. Will Evans gets a shot in, and Okwanko can only block it away with his knees. The corner's prevented, but it is a Mansfield throw down by the corner flag left-hand side.
Yeah, it's a really good start and exactly what they need at home, getting on the front foot. Will Evans, he can't do much more with that. The angle's against him, but he gets the shot off and forces the save.
Play the ball into the box. Heavy touch there from Wrexham. It's come out to Jordan Bowery, who tried to casually stroke the ball goalwards from 30 yards out. Wrexham cleared their lines, and then there was a foul, meaning that the away side have a free kick just past the midway point of their own half. Minute gone on Talksport 2 in League One. It's 0-0.
Yeah, Bowery for me there. I don't know whether it's nonchalance or a lack of conviction. It looked like the latter to me, and good opportunity to really fire a shot off there, but didn't do enough with it.
Ball's played up to the edge of the area, but Kilgore brings it down, fires it down the inside right channel, asking Evans to give chase, but O'Connor wins it back, and then back comes Ollie Rathbone, who's been in decent goal-scoring form of late. Ollie Rathbone for Wrexham, not known as a goal-getter. Ryan Longman in the side today for Ryan Barnett. That's an interesting change for me. Barnett's been such a good supplier from that right-hand side for Wrexham this season. Maybe he's just being rested. But here's Rathbone. Lovely ball into the box. It misses out the keeper. Oh, turned into his own net by Callum MacDonald. Well, Rathbone got the crossing from the byline left-hand side. It completely evaded Scott Flinders. And MacDonald just got in a mix-up. Got his feet mixed up completely. Tried to clear it with his left foot, but just casually turned it into his own net. The worst possible start for Mansfield Town, and Wrexham are in front after just 2 minutes. Mansfield 0, Wrexham 1.
Well, it's so unfortunate by MacDonald. The only thing I will say is his body shape doesn't help him, but the quality of the ball from Rathbone is absolutely exceptional because it's behind that back line. He's got enough pace on it, which causes a problem, and we always say that. Get the ball in the box, and even if it doesn't come off one of your players, if it's that good of a ball, it will cause a problem than what we see there. But there's a bit of a lack of communication because they could have let that ball go. MacDonald could have, but he couldn't see behind him, and his body shape's wrong. And if he'd have opened his body up a bit more, I think he would have been more aware. But it's one of those where it's just really unfortunate. It couldn't have started any worse for Mansfield.
So the Dragons in front in Nottinghamshire on Talksport 2. And Ollie Rathbone, who joined in August after a good spell at Rotherham United, not too far up the road from here. His dangerous ball in. Oh, they just couldn't deal with it at the back. Flinders plays it up to halfway, and Mansfield are trying to respond. MacDonald getting downfield. In fact, the referee has brought play back for a foul on George Maris just on the halfway line as he was trying to release the ball downfield. So Mansfield have a free kick. Maris thinks about playing it short and does, back just inside his own half for Flint. Across to Kilgore, the captain. Tries to evade the sliding challenge of Rathbone. Clipped it down the right-hand side. Sent down the right again by Flint and headed out of play under pressure from Will Evans for a Mansfield throw. Bowery takes it quickly. Knocks it down, gets it back from Keanu Bacchus, the Australian. Maris tries to turn in field, but he's blocked in midfield. And it comes back to the halfway line, and Stephen McLaughlin across to MacDonald. Just want to throw off Longman on this near side. McLaughlin's playing as the third centre half, by the way, and MacDonald out on the left wing back and Bowery right wing back. It is very much needs must for all those wearing yellow and blue at the moment for Mansfield. Lucas Akins being out is another blow with his creativity from the right hand side.
Yeah, it really is, and it's one of those, it's an injury crisis, so some of it you can't be helped and it's unfortunate, but I think maybe when you look at the average age of this squad, I think it quite possibly the oldest in League One, so I don't know whether that's something that's catching up with them or the training methods, but either way they're really struggling in that department.
That's knocked down the left hand side for Will Evans, trying to get the better of the Wrexham defence, but the Visitors get it clear, but then Andy Cannon just runs out of room on this near side, just down beneath our commentary position. Throw for Mansfield on halfway, knocked in field by McLaughlin. Good ball from Maris to see Kilgore in space on the halfway line. He's got Bowery stationed on his outside, gives it back to Kilgore, and he elects to go back into his own half for Aidan Flint. They could be twins, those two, Flint and Kilgore, with the long hair tied back with the band around the head. Although
not good for his commentators, is it, trying to decipher, but we've got a good view here, so it's not too bad.
No, we are right over the halfway line here at the One Call Stadium. Okwonko back in the Wrexham goal today. Sends the ball long downfield, flicked on by Smith, looking to get Rodriguez away, but Mansfield deal with it this time. Caelan Vickers just shy of the halfway line, works it back to MacDonald. Good ball over halfway, collected well by Evans, and he set Vickers away, just turns him away from the defender, moves in field up to the edge of the area, left hand side, another twist and turn into the box for Evans, tries to tee up Maris at the edge of the area, but Andy Cannon just toe pokes it away from danger.
Great centre forward play by Evans to come collect that, play the ball off, and Bacchus made a very good run, and if he'd have been found, that could have come out better for Mansfield.
Now it's Bowery getting a cross in from the right hand side under pressure from Revan, and it's been cleared into the terraced houses behind that derelict east stand for a throw to Mansfield, taken quickly Bacchus just trying to work it back to the edge of the area, but it's brought away by Wrexham, and a ball slid over halfway, trying to get Cannon away, but McLaughlin read the danger at the back for Mansfield. Plays into the feet of Vickers, little over from Vickers, quite clever, knowing that Evans would be behind him, but he just couldn't get to the second ball. And now there's a Wrexham free kick that's been awarded as Sam Smith was upended by Aidan Flint. 7 minutes gone on Talksport 2 in League 1. Mansfield Town 0, Wrexham 1. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
And I heard Nigel Clough speaking not so long back about they need a little bit of luck, and again they'll feel hard done to. I think, as I say, I think we can talk about the body position of McDonald, but they had a good start, got a shot on target, and they still find themselves 1-0 down very early in this game.
No winning 9 for Mansfield, and that's now no clean sheet in 13, regardless of what happens in the rest of this afternoon's game. They've won 6 of their first 10 matches this season, the Stags, but their last win came on January the 4th at Stockport, and the only point they've gained since then was the point that, as Courtney said earlier, it really should have been 3-1 up at Blackpool and missing a chance to go 4-1 up, eventually 3-3 draw against the Seasiders.
Yeah, it was a big opportunity, wasn't it, from Maris? And it's one of those, because actually, yes, that solidifies the game, but do you expect your team to forgive 2 goals for it to be 3-3? No. So there's obviously culpability in a lot of areas.
Now down the left-hand side for Wrexham, Thomas O'Connor gets a ball in from the byline, only half cleared by Mansfield. Rathbone whips in another lovely ball, and it clips the post and goes wide. Sent it in right-footed this time, Ollie Rathbone. It was allowed to bounce all the way across the box. Flinders let it go, and it clipped the outside of the post and goes behind for a Mansfield goal kick. That was so close to 2-0 to Wrexham.
Yeah, it really was. And Smith and Rodriguez are in there as well. They're trying to get something on the ball. They don't get anything on it. It just comes straight through. But Rathbone's looking really good today. And I watched a lot of him at Rotherham, and thought he was always very tenacious, always play with his heart on his sleeve. But I think he's added that little bit of quality going forward, and we've seen it already today.
I remember his dad, Mick Rathbone, who played for Birmingham City in the early 70s and was a long-time Everton stalwart. And Ollie, certainly as tenacious as his dad was. And he's part of this Wrexham team that is aiming for these back-to-back-to-back promotions to go all the way from the National League through to the Championship in what would be an extraordinary short few years for the club that's had this Hollywood investment. But it's all about what they do on the pitch. And Phil Parkinson will be delighted with the start that his side have made here. But it's 9.5 minutes gone. Mansfield haven't gone into their shell, having gone behind to that early own goal. Kilgore back for Aidan Flint, and he'll tuck it back to Flinders, out to McLaughlin in the left-sided centre-half position. Decides to scurry up to the halfway line, feeds it infield looking for Evans, but O'Connell comfortably in front of him. Ball breaks in the centre circle. Bacchus gets a good foot in to keep it away from Dobson, and now it's just touched to the right by Lewis Reed for Kilgore, who's moved inside the Wrexham half of the field. Back it goes for Flint. Maris has come short into the centre circle. Not much movement ahead of it at the moment, but he goes right to Kilgore. Now Evans is making a run through the middle. Bacchus lays it off to Maris. Again, just ahead of the halfway line, out to the right-hand side for Mansfield as they're attacking the James Brunt stand in this first half on Talksport 2. 10 minutes gone, 1-0 to Wrexham if you're just tuning in. A very early own goal from Callum MacDonald, turning the ball into his own net with an awkward body shape after Ollie Rathbone had put in a super cross from the left-hand side for Wrexham.
It's been a decent reaction though, hasn't it, from Mansfield? I know that Wrexham went close again, but they've not panicked. They're happy to be on the ball, try and control the game, but it's that ball forward that they seem to be missing at the moment in terms of the quality on the end of it. I think they need another pass into midfield if they can, but every time it seems to go into midfield, for example, Bacchus a couple of times, it goes into him. First thought is to go backwards. They need to open up their body shape.
Max Cleworth sends the ball downfield, the Wrexham Academy graduate, that Sam Smith couldn't keep hold of it. Sam Smith, who's a £2 million January signing after best part of 65 appearances at Reading. He's already scored against Northampton for his new club. Here's Kilgore just hitting the ball over the top, trying to get Evans in behind the Wrexham backline, but it's very comfortably dealt with at the back by Owen O'Connell. And now Sebastian Revan making strides down the left-hand side. Joined from Aston Villa back in July, Revan. He had a Rotherham loan last season. He's a left-back by trade, but he's playing in this left wing-back position in this familiar Wrexham 3 centre-back system.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, though, sort of full-backs and wing-backs nowadays, it's quite interchangeable for the fact as, in the modern day as a full-back, you're expected to get forward, so won't be too much of a departure.
Oh, the keeper's lost it as the ball came out to the left-hand side of the area. Chance for Rodriguez, cleared off the line by McLaughlin. Fantastic goal line clearance after Scott Flinders made a dreadful error in the Mansfield goal. And now the Stags are coming forward on the counter-attack. Evans down the left-hand side of the area, gets to the byline, tries to pull it back, and it goes out instead for a throw-in. But Scott Flinders got bundled off the ball by Sam Smith down the left-hand side of the area. Smith pulled it back for his strike partner, but Rodriguez could only find Stephen McLaughlin standing in front of the goal line to clear it.
It's wonderful defending. It really is. And thinking about worst-case scenario, getting back on the line. The only thing I will say is Jay Rodriguez, someone of his quality, he's got to hit the corners and he should do better.
Lovely skill from Caelan Vickers, left-hand side of the area. Rolls it back to Maris. Tries to open his body up and get a shot towards goal. No power behind it, but it was cleared away for a throw into Mansfield. 13 minutes gone. On Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Mansfield Town 0, Wrexham 1.
Seems to be
a throw in for McLaughlin, who's just performed those heroics on his own goal line to keep it at 1-0. Gets a throw back from Vickers, trying to play a couple of 1-2s between them. It's a bit scrappy. And Wrexham come away with the ball and George Dobson. Lovely pirouette from Dobson. Under pressure from 2 or 3 Mansfield shirts, and it's worked out from right to left for Wrexham. And Thomas O'Connor will get his head up and drive towards the halfway line with the ball at his feet. Under pressure from Evans. Now Revan tucks it infield. And it's Jay Rodriguez, who just had that terrific chance to double Wrexham's lead. Good foot in from McDonald to win the ball back for Mansfield. Neat touch from Keanu Bacchus and lovely quick feet from Will Evans to get away from 1-2 challenges. Now looking for an option, holds his hands out. Who wants it? Has to go back. But now Maris driving forward into the Wrexham half. You can hear the encouragement from the fans around us in the Ian Greaves stand as Alfie Kilgore picks it up. 4 to hit in the area for Mansfield. Decent cross, but it's too close to the goalkeeper, who lets it go anyway, and it just dribbles behind for a Wrexham goal kick in front of those travelling supporters away to our left. We played 14 minutes on Talksport 2 if you're just tuning in. Mansfield 0, Wrexham 1. Here's Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
It's not a bad ball, though, that from Kilgore. I think he just needs someone to gamble on it, and it probably goes back to earlier in that play where Will Evans drops in, tries to face up, and there's no one there to play to. So in terms of committing men forward, I get that you don't want to commit too many bodies forward and you don't want to get caught out on the counter-attack, but the only way you're going to score is to be a bit brave.
Sam Smith giving chase down the left-hand side, but the wind takes the ball out of play. Still pretty blustery here at the One Call Stadium this afternoon. So Mansfield have a throw midway point of their own half. The floodlights are on. It's by no means dark, but it's certainly gloomy in this part of the East Midlands. Decidedly gloomy in terms of Mansfield's position in the table. Neat little dummy from McLaughlin to get away from Cannon on halfway. Now Caelan Vickers out on the left-hand side for Mansfield. He's on loan from Brighton, hasn't scored yet since coming on loan to the Stags. But he's looked lively alongside Will Evans. There's a number of players who Nigel Clough would like to call on, like Rhys Oates, unavailable. Keanu Bacchus, good ball into the area. Callum MacDonald! Well, how about that? To go from 0 to hero in the space of just 10 minutes. MacDonald will turn the ball into his own net to put Wrexham in front. Finds himself clear at the back stick from Bacchus's really good cross from the right. And Mansfield are back on terms against Wrexham. Mansfield 1, Wrexham 1. It's Callum MacDonald with 2 goals, 1 in either net.
Well, fair play to the lad, because to start the game the way he did, to put the ball in the back of his own net, he probably wanted the ground to swallow him up. But that is how you react. You keep your head, you keep trying to do the right things. And when this ball comes in, it initially bounces. I'm thinking, how is someone not on the end of that? It's another exceptional ball, this time from a Mansfield player. sort of bounces about 4 yards out, and McDonald, he doesn't give it up, he keeps going, he has to stretch and put it in the back of the net. It's a wonderful finish.
What a time to score your first Mansfield goal. It's out on the left-hand side for George Maris. Now Caelan Vickers, they've got a head of steam up now, Mansfield. Vickers into the area, left-hand side. Gives it to McDonald. He teases across into the far post, headed out by Rathbone. Kept alive by Mansfield. Bacchus tries a drive from inside the area and it blocks away off Revan for a throw to the Stags. Completely different atmosphere in the stadium now. 1-1.
Yeah, brilliant. The fans obviously getting behind their side. I think they were obviously a little bit shell-shocked initially by the first goal. I don't think anyone could quite believe the way it went in, but the fans have responded, the players have responded, and we've got a game on our hands now.
So McDonald with his first goal for Mansfield Town. That will make him feel a whole lot better after what happened at the start of the game. He was at Bristol Rovers last season but didn't get much of a look in. He's been at Stockport and Tranmere. He did start life in the Derby Academy and he's had a very eventful opening 17 minutes, I think it's fair to say. Callum McDonald, the 27-year-old. It is Mansfield 1, Wrexham 1.
Yeah, but as I say, you've got to admire the attitude, because some players would absolutely wilt under that. But he's kept going, finding the right areas, and fair play to him.
And they're now putting in a high press on Wrexham with the ball in their own defensive third, and they've forced Clearwith to put the ball out for a throw. You're listening to Mansfield 1, Wrexham 1 in the EFL League 1, live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in delivered to your door with McDelivery. Here's Aidan Flint finding his lucky-likey. And captain Alfie Kilgour, good ball in field, and Bacchus turns and pirouettes and heads for the Wrexham penalty area, but there was a deflection on his, well, I'm not sure whether it was a cross or a shot, but it's a Mansfield throw, left-hand side, and it's lobbed in field for George Maris, up to the edge of the area. Vickers gets dispossessed. Cannon trying to bring it away for Wrexham on the counter. He's been fouled by Vickers. And the referee gives a free kick to the away.
We've got a bit of energy in the game now.
We just...
brilliant, and there's certainly more goals in it, there's no doubt about that. It's just which end is going to come from next.
Wrexham fire a long ball downfield looking for Sam Smith, but the ball just holds up in the wind and just drifts over his head and through to Scott Flinders, who'll be equally happy that it's all square, because he had his part to play in that own goal as well, I think it's fair to say, having come in for Christy Pym today, who I think has got a slight toe issue, which is why he's only good enough for the Mansfield bench today. Now, Will Evans lets the ball run across for George Maris, setting it through for Vickers at the edge of the area, goes down, tried to turn and shoot whilst he was falling to the deck, and really, that was ambitious in the extreme from Caelan Vickers, and it's just dribbled behind for a goal kick to Wrexham, but more signs of intent from Mansfield Town, 1-1.
Yeah, really good reaction from them, but going back to Flinders, it was interesting actually, because Christy Pym has probably not had the best run of form lately, let's say, but you know, his manager stuck by him, tried to play him back into form. So interesting that Flinders comes in, and he's not looked the best so far of that opportunity where he drives out his goal, as you say. There's a little part to play in the own goal as well, so he's not looked overly convincing.
Well, he's not exactly short of experience, Scott Flinders, at 38 years young, over 600 career appearances. He was here 2 or 3 years ago, right from Cheltenham Town on a free transfer, but he's only made 6 appearances this season, including this afternoon. 20 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Hope you're enjoying this as much as we're enjoying bringing it to you. It's a good game, this. Mansfield 1, Wrexham 1. Both teams needing the points for very, very different reasons in League 1 this afternoon. Will Evans, who had such a purple patch at Newport County before his move here, out to the right-hand side. Bowery, has he won a corner there? That's actually a goal kick. He didn't touch Sebastian Revan with the attempted cross on the right-hand side. I remember Jordan Bowery being signed by Paul Lambert for Aston Villa as a striker not that long ago.
Yeah, wearing the number 9, isn't he? Still in there.
But he has been a right-back more often than not for Mansfield Town since his move here.
How do you feel about that, Dancer, a right-back? Ostensibly having a number 9, I know that annoys some people.
The days of numbers corresponding to where people play on the pitch, that's long gone. Doesn't annoy me at all, in fairness. I don't mind. People seem to get annoyed when shirts get retired. I'm saying nothing, Jude Bellingham. We've only retired it so when he comes back after winning everything in Madrid, he can just have the shirt back.
Exactly. They're playing today as well, I believe.
They are. Well, I think Athletic Bilbao won come to be 4-0 to put pressure on the top three in La Liga. Remember, Trans-Europe Express tonight at 9 with Danny Kelly and Andy Brassel over on Talksport, the very best of all that's going on in Europe right now. But our concentration is League One on Talksport 2 at the moment. And Wrexham trying to clear the ball from inside their own penalty area. But Mansfield have it back, and they've won a throw out on the right-hand side. Our producers just said William Gallas wore number 10 for Arsenal, which he says is unforgivable. Yeah, I didn't see him as didn't see him as a 10. Here is the number 9 for Mansfield, Barry, the right wing-back. Very tight to that far touchline. And he's won a throw, which the assistant was waiting for the referee to give. You can see him looking at each other. And the assistant wasn't sure, so waited for Matt Corlett to give the decision Mansfield Town's way. Backers collects the throw, gives it back to Barry, but he's having to go back further towards the halfway line, and it's back with Flint on halfway. First time ball downfield, headed clear by O'Connor. And then Rodriguez, with his hair tied back in that familiar little ponytail, sent it up to Sam Smith. He was caught by McLaughlin. And now Wrexham piling forward, taking the free kick quickly. Longman, right-hand side, level with the 18-yard line. Puts the ball onto his left foot, puts the cross in. Kilgore lets the ball bounce and heads it clear, but only as far as Rathbone. Rathbone will tuck it back to O'Connor, just over the halfway line. Rathbone again now, left-hand side, midway point of the half. Has got Revan on his outside, looking to have a go maybe at Jordan Bowery. Gets past him. Lovely skill from Revan. Early ball into the box. Kilgore gets it half clear, but running onto it is Cleworth with a drive. It's blocked on its way to goal by Aidan Flint. And then McLaughlin with an overhead kick trying to get it away from the edge of the area. Still they haven't quite cleared it. Now they have through Caelan Vickers. Pinball inside the Mansfield box, but it stays one apiece. Yeah,
absolutely incredible, considering that they were under pressure the last 5 or so minutes. Wrexham really camped in Mansfield were in that attacking final third, putting under pressure, but then Wrexham come forward again. The momentum in this game has been toing and throwing incredibly well, and it's maybe not so great for the fans watching, but for the neutral it's brilliant.
Halfway through the first half, 1-1. Wrexham in possession again with Ryan Longman. Good ball in field for Cleworth, who's sent the ball out to the right wing. Andy Cannon gets down the right-hand side of the box, gives it back to Longman. First time ball swirls away from everybody in the box and will just drift out of play on the far side for a throw into Mansfield. And with the score at 1-1, with Callum MacDonald having scored the own goal and the equaliser, that puts into perspective even more that goal line clearance from Stephen McLaughlin when Rodriguez had a free shot at goal when the score was still 1-0.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And, I said Rodriguez probably should do better, and I stand by that. But equally, the flexibility, by the way, from McLaughlin, he almost does the splits. Does extremely well to clear it off the line. And as you say, in the context now of what's happened, Wrexham go 2-0 up. It's a completely different game, but sometimes you've got to have that moment that maybe changes the game, and Mansfield had that.
Okwonko has the ball in his hands, the Wrexham keeper, who's had his injury problems during the course of this season. Missed a little bit of football before Christmas, and he didn't play last time out. He was slid out of play by a strong challenge from Callum MacDonald. So Wrexham have a throw bang on halfway down beneath our commentary position. Both Phil Parkinson and Nigel Clough are out there, the edge of their technical areas. Nigel Clough having a chat with the fourth official, James Durkin. Two vastly experienced men in charge of these two clubs. Ball's rolled forward to Sam Smith, lays it off to Longman for Wrexham, driving in field to about 30 yards out, across to Revan, left-hand corner of the box, faced up by Bowery. Revan gets the ball across the face of goal, but there's McLaughlin again with a vital touch, and then he was pushed by Rodriguez as he tried to clear, and so Mansfield Town get a free kick in their own 18-yard box. 25 minutes gone on your home of the EFL. Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 1. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Revan does well to dig that out, because Longman, I think it was, that plays a ball into him, should do better. He's in acres of space, but the ball's just a little bit behind Revan, and then he has to stop. He has to sort his feet out, whereas it's in front of him. He can take that big first touch and drive into the box and commit players, but still does well to get a half-decent ball in.
Newcastle 4, Nottingham Forest 2 now. Forest have got a goal back in the second half. They've played about 60-odd minutes at St James Park. Remember the Sunday session over on Talksport with Sam Matterface and Perry Groves, keeping you updated with that, and of course the matter of the the 4:30 kickoff at the Etihad, Manchester City against the Premier League leaders Liverpool. But here at the One Call Stadium, our concentration is firmly on Mansfield 1, Wrexham 1. And there's not much to distract us from what's going on here, because it's been a terrific opening 26 minutes of League One football. And Erling Haaland is not in the Manchester City squad to face Liverpool today. Jamie Carragher, where are you? Because Jamie was only saying the other day that he was running scared of Real Madrid, which I think irked Pep Guardiola just a tad.
He wasn't too happy with that comment, was he?
That's a problem for Manchester City, because Marmoush, a central striker, is not, as proved by the game against Real Madrid. Well, two Wrexham players getting a muddle there, and Bacchus tries to release Maris down the left-hand side for Mansfield. Vickers sees McDonald in a bit of space. Deep cross, trying to get it into the box, but it's blocked out of play by Longman for a Mansfield throw, level with the 18-yard line, away to our left with Mansfield in their blue and yellow attacking the James Brunt stand to our left as we sit high up in the Ian Greaves stand here in Nottinghamshire. Another throw goes Mansfield's way as Vickers tries to collect that throw. McDonald again will have it. McLaughlin is a very short option just next to him. Maris makes a running field, but it's thrown into Keanu Bacchus. Tries to tee up Maris with the ball outside the area, but that's comfortably won back by Jay Rodriguez. He hits a long ball looking for his strike partner Sam Smith. Very nicely cushioned headed by Kilgore. Flint just turns it long into the Wrexham half. Evans, well, he ran into trouble there in the shape of Rathbone, and Wrexham now have it with Revan on the left hand side. Almost got dispossessed by Jordan Bowery, but the ricochet went in Wrexham's favour. 28 minutes gone, 1-1 if you're just tuning in. Here's Dobson finding Cannon in the centre circle for Wrexham. Rathbone elects to go back to his captain O'Connell. Now Cleworth, who can pop up with a goal or two from set pieces. And don't forget the power, the striking power that Wrexham have got on their bench this afternoon. Paul Mullin, Jack Marriott and Stephen Fletcher all available to come off the bench as and when required.
You mentioned set pieces, Danson. I was just double checking because I thought we've not had any corners yet, and
no.
Wrexham are normally so strong. I know we saw against Lincoln Mansfield not so much in terms of defending, but actually completely different back three. And when you have the likes of Flint, obviously massive sort of presence in there, and the same with Kilgore, so might be a little better served actually for defending set pieces today, Mansfield.
Well, it's a breaking play here whilst Wrexham player, I think it was George Dobson, he's back on his feet and limping around, doesn't look too HP, having been caught off the ball. It gives me a chance to remind you that we've got a huge championship game here on Talksport 2 tomorrow night. The top two meet at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United against Leeds. Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton will be your commentary team in South Yorkshire for that one. And then more, I'll give you more on the midweek football that we've got coming up for you live across the network, and there's tons of it.
I say we've not got time right now to listen to all, have we?
No, because there's too good a game going on here at the moment. Approaching the half-hour mark at the One Call, 1-1, and Mansfield work the ball into the Wrexham half, but McDonald, under pressure from Ryan Longman, has to work the ball back down this near touchline to McLaughlin, who turns the ball back to his goalkeeper Flinders. First time right-footed drive downfield, straight onto the head of O'Connell. Nicely cushioned header for Dobson, appears to have run off that injury. Now Clever sends it up to halfway, and a foul on Cannon, but the locals seem to think he made rather a lot of that. What do you make of it, Cordy Sweetman Kirk?
I do think it was a foul, but equally you're right, does make the most of it. But going back to that long clearance as well from Flinders, both Vickers and Evans, no one competes for the ball. They're trying to get that one over the top, whereas in that position someone needs to be there for the flick on in the second phase. So one in front, one behind.
Wrexham's free kick half clear, but the visitors have got it back with O'Connor. Finds Rathbone out on the left hand side, about 20 yards inside the Mansfield half of the field. Now they've switched the ball from left to right, and Cleworth, who spots Longman on this near touchline, midway point of the half, but he can't make his way past McDonald. So back it goes into the Wrexham half, and they will try again and build from right to left via O'Connell and O'Connor out to Revan on the left hand side. Short ball into Rathbone, but the ball trickled under his boot, and that allowed Lewis Reed to get back in clear for Mansfield, but Rathbone has it back. He's going to have a rasping drive. Well, I mentioned he likes the shot on goal, and he scored a wonderful goal against Birmingham at the racecourse just a couple of weeks back, but you heard the reaction of the Mansfield locals here. That was wild, well wide, you could always blame it on the wind. 1-1.
Well, exactly. I was there at the racecourse actually for that game to watch that goal, and you're right, it was a wonderful strike, and obviously the start he's had as well, sort of assisting the first goal as it were, puts another wonderful ball in that shades past off the post actually, so you can't blame him there for taking it on, but certainly wasn't of the quality we've seen so far from him.
Wrexham beat Mansfield by 1-0 in the reverse fixture in November. It was a very even contest. Mansfield actually had more shots at goal than Wrexham did that day, 15-12, but it was Ryan Barnett's early strike that made the difference in the end. But it's 1-1 here. 31 minutes played on Talksport 2. Wind's getting up, and I think it's blowing in the faces of the Wrexham players. So any ball they send downfield tends to get held up a little bit on the breeze, which is more than moderately fresh.
I always hated playing in wind. Put me in any other condition, the rain, the cold, but the wind, it just ruins the game. But that's what you have to deal with as a player, and then realise actually those are the conditions, so you've got to keep the ball on the floor.
Well, Wrexham have won a free kick after Maris just clipped Max Cleworth as he was under pressure on his own defensive third. Wrexham have taken the free kick short, and it's with the captain O'Connell still inside his own half, plays it right to Cleworth on the halfway line. Now he hits a long raking ball downfield looking for Smith, headed away by Flint. Maris brings it down on his chest on this near side, brings McDonald into the game, and he was barged off the ball by Cannon. And the Mansfield fans around us give some ironic cheers as they see a decision go their way as the rain starts to team down again here in Nottinghamshire. Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 1.
I think that was a bit of a reaction, wasn't it, from Cannon from the earlier foul that he won. Felt a little, I think, hard done to by the challenge, so just wanted to give a bit back.
So a free kick for the Stags, taken by McLaughlin down the left-hand side, looking for Will Evans outside the area, but he's beaten in the air by Cleworth, who heads it down to Dobson. Longman gives it back to Dobson in field, midway point of his own half. Quick ball to his left for Rathbone, and then further left to O'Connor as he motors up toward the halfway line on the far side of the field. Revan needs skill to get away from Bacchus, but they have to go back into their own half, and it's with O'Connell again. He thought about a long ball downfield, but then dummied and kept possession as he ran into the centre circle, probably thinking about the windy conditions, and the windy conditions saw the ball really spin back to Okwonko in the Wrexham goal. It was awkward for him to deal with at first. Almost intercepted by Bacchus as the ball's played it to halfway. Revan is caught on the turn by Reed. And that's another free kick to the visitors. We've got 11 minutes of the first half to play on Talksport 2. It is Mansfield 1, Wrexham 1. I've got the former Liverpool and Sheffield United women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk with me today.
I think Wrexham, the momentum keeps changing. Again, it was Mansfield for the last 5 or 10 minutes, but Wrexham are going forward.
Here's Rathbone again, left-hand side, ball across the face of goal, and Longman couldn't attach it with his right foot and get it on target. It was a difficult ball to strike. Really fizzed across the face of goal again by Ollie Rathbone. But Longman was down the right-hand side of the 6-yard box, angle tightening all the time, and he could only hit it first time on the full, but he snatched at it, and it barely hit the side netting on its way wide. Goal kick Mansfield 1-1.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's difficult because we've mentioned the wind and that the rain's been teeming down as well, so the surface is slick. But what I will say, I don't think he anticipates this ball coming to him. I think he thinks the defender is going to cut it out. It's McLaughlin that's got back into sort of that position, and I think his expectation is it's going to get cleared, and when it comes to him, he's not expecting it, can't sort his feet out quick enough.
Ball breaks in midfield. There's a scrap between Cannon and Reed, but Reed comes out on top. The diminutive midfielder just slides it left for McDonald. Cannon stayed down, but Mansfield play on as Cleworth comes across to hit it against McDonald. Ends up being a throw-in, and Cannon is calling for treatment to his right knee, I think, that he's holding, and the Wrexham physios come on to take a look at him. So it gives me a chance, first of all, to update you on the latest scores around the country. Newcastle 4, Nottingham Forest 2 in the Premier League. They played 70-odd minutes at St James Park. Remember, Forest were 1 up, but then found themselves 4-1 down. Watford beating Luton 2-0 earlier today. You heard that live here on your home of the EFL. So Watford needing those 3 points, and Tom Cleverley still in charge at Vicarage Road, despite those reports that we brought you, about a month ago, that he was set to be dismissed. Not so. He's still in charge at Vicarage Road. And Watford are now 9th in the table, and they are just 3 points off Blackburn, who occupy the final playoff berth. Now, it doesn't look good for Andy Cannon here because the Wrexham physio has just indicated the need for a stretcher, I think, to this near touchline, Courtney.
Yeah, and it's hard, but on first look, in terms of that knee, the first thing you think is ACL, especially coupled with the reaction. I don't think there was necessarily too much in the challenge. I think it's the way he lands, and you see his knee. It looked from here to me like he jolted, which is never a good sign, coupled with the reaction of himself, the players around him. Aidan Flint was up to him quite quickly, as well as the physio. It doesn't look good at all.
No, so whilst he's continuing to get treatment, gives me a chance to tell you with the score at 1-1 exactly what we've got coming up in midweek across the Talksport network, because all 10 Premier League midweek games will be exclusive to either Talksport, Talksport 2, Talk Radio, who are lending us their airwaves in the week, or the Talksport app. So, for example, Tuesday, Chelsea Southampton live on Talksport, 8:15 kickoff. Talksport 2, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, 7:30. And I'll be at Molineux on Talk Radio, 7:30. Wolverhampton Wanderers against Fulham. Danny Mills will be alongside me. Brighton Bournemouth on Tuesday night will be on the Talksport app exclusively. So if you've got the Talksport app downloaded, very easy to find the live games tab and then just click on the game of your choice. Wednesday, 7:30, Nottingham Forest against Arsenal is the Talksport exclusive. Tottenham against Tottenham Hotspur. Can't call it Tottenham. I did it again.
No, not again, Dan. You're going to get in trouble.
Oh, man alive. I did it yesterday as well. Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City is the Talksport 2 exclusive. And I'll be at Anfield. Again, I'll be on Talk Radio. 8:15 kickoff. Liverpool against Newcastle. And Mickey Gray will be with me. And the second half of that game will be on Talksport once the earlier game, the Nottingham Forest Arsenal game, is done and dusted. Meanwhile, Manchester United, Ipswich and Brentford Everton will be on the Talksport app. Do you see what I mean? There's so much going on. If you've got the Talksport app downloaded, then you're set fair. And there is only one game on Thursday, but it is live on Talksport, another exclusive. West Ham against beleaguered Leicester from the London Stadium. And how good are West Ham feeling? On top of the world right now after the 1-0 win at Arsenal yesterday. And then we're into the FA Cup for the 5th round, starting on Friday night with Villa against Cardiff and Sheffield Wednesday against Sunderland. That's in the Championship, incidentally. The Aston Villa Cardiff game is definitely a cup tie, but Sheffield Wednesday Sunderland is a Championship game here on Talksport 2. And then Leeds West Brom next Saturday lunchtime, and Bournemouth Wolves is our 5th round pick at 3 o'clock in the FA Cup here on Talksport 2, with Manchester City entertaining Plymouth. Can Plymouth do to Manchester City next Saturday what they did to Liverpool a couple of Sundays ago? So much football going on. All you have to know is we're bringing it over 450 live games this season from all manner of different competitions. I'm afraid to say that Andy Cannon is still receiving treatment. I do hope it's not as serious as it appears to look, because the stretcher is ready to take him off, and whilst he is continuing to receive treatment in the centre circle, there are a lot of spare balls out there being kicked around by both sets of players to keep warm at this point.
Yeah, just watching the physios dance. They're putting him in a vac pack brace. And that right leg braced up, making sure no more harm can be potentially done to it. As you say, it's not looking good. A lot of medical staff out there, though. That's the main thing, and he was attended to very quickly.
You mentioned Real Madrid earlier. They're 0-0 at the moment with Girona.
There you go.
And Athletic Bilbao won 7-1 against Valladolid earlier this afternoon. So they're 4th in the table in La Liga, Athletic. 4 points as it stands behind Real. Atletico 53 and Barcelona 54 at the top of the pile. It is a four-way battle for the title in Spain. So as I mentioned, Trans-Euro Express from 9 o'clock tonight on Talksport. Always entertaining and always informative, with Danny Kelly and Andy Brassel going around the continent. And it's Kevin Hatchard, in fact, who's sitting in for Andy Brassel on the Trans-Euro Express. Now I can see that fluorescent splint that they've wrapped around Andy Cannon's right leg. He's conscious, so he's clearly conscious. He knows what's going on. He's sort of aware that he's about to be lifted onto the stretcher to be taken off, but this looks like a season-ending injury for the Wrexham number 8, and change is going to have to be made by Phil Parkinson once he's been taken off the field. Matty James is the obvious change. midfielder for midfielder. But we'll wait and see. He's now been lifted onto the stretcher, Andy Cannon. And they're taking every bit of care, as they should. And a couple of the Mansfield players are just coming over to check, because it was a fairly innocuous challenge that led to him picking up that injury.
Yeah, and I just think it's potentially the way he lands it or twists. I think it's sort of he plants his foot, he's trying to go one way. As you say, I don't think it's anything necessarily horrendous with the challenge. I'm just looking, is he either getting a bit of gas and air or oxygen? One or the other. Obviously in a lot of pain, but on the stretcher. And
well, I've never torn my ligaments. I stretched them once when I kicked the ball the same time as the bass player from the punk band GBH. And he was slightly bigger than me.
Was it GBH that he inflicted?
It felt like it at the time. Because I was walking straight and then suddenly I turned and...
yeah, it's the twisting and the turning injuries that normally the worst ones. I think the ligaments are awful. Normally anywhere in the body, I know it sounds probably counterintuitive for most people, but 9 times out of 10 you'd rather break a bone than do your ligaments.
It's the end of my footballing career, that. I was only 25.
Could have been like Jude at Real Madrid if that hadn't happened.
He's not playing today.
Is he not?
Oh, Jude, no, he's not.
He's
not even in the squad. He's suspended after his volley at the referee. Got a 2-game ban, didn't he, for all of that? So Cannon is now on the stretcher, but they're just making some final preparations before they take him off the field. And we will be back underway, but there will, as you can imagine, be a fair old chunk of added time. There'll be more live sport later this evening on Talksport to the final round of the Mexico Open in the US PGA Tour. I had a look down the leaderboard earlier to see if I could see any recognisable Brits new. There are not. But you'll get swing by pitch by putt commentary on the final round of that Mexico Open here on Talksport. So through it around about 11 o'clock tonight.
Did you watch any of the boxing? Listen to the boxing last night?
I did listen to some of the boxing last night. I
listened to it on the way home from Portman Road.
Well, me too. And I was listening to Zhili Zhang getting beaten, which, you know, he's got these massive hands, and heard him getting beat was interesting. It's a shame for the fact that Daniel Dubois was not fit to take on Josie Parker, who dispatched his standing opponent inside, 3 rounds.
What about the Lecky from Donny?
Oh, standing.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Lost his fight, but what a performance he put in. Now the applause, as I'm sure you can understand that you can hear, is from all around this stadium for Andy Cannon, the Wrexham midfielder, who's poor fella who's got his hands over his face, clearly in some pain, and he's been taken down the tunnel, and I'm sure he's going to get the very best care from the medical staff here and maybe a local hospital as well, as they'll continue to treat him. But Matty James has indeed come on. So we've ticked round to nearly half time in terms of 45 minutes, but there will be, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe to add on.
Just watching dance as well. Paul Mullin, who was warming up over there, was straight over to him to console his teammate.
And Okwonko gets us back underway by hitting a goal kick straight out of play on this near side, much to the delight of a few around us in the Ian Greaves stand.
I don't think you can blame the wind for that one.
And it is indeed 10 minutes of minimum stoppage time that we're going into here on Talksport 2 as we are back underway. Mansfield 1, Wrexham 1 is the score. George Maris tries to lay it into the feet of Caelan Vickers. Longman gets the ball in field, but Mansfield are hunting in packs to win it back. McLaughlin finds George Maris. Lovely ball from Maris into the centre circle to find Kilgore. He fires it downfield into the chest of Bacchus, but good defending from O'Connor, and Wrexham have it back. Rodriguez lays it off for Dobson in the centre circle. Now James gets his first touch since coming on and gives it back to his captain O'Connell, who turns away from Evans and feeds Okwonko. And now right hand side, Cleworth down the right hand side. Longman does well to keep hold of the ball and stroke it into the path of Dobson. It's good football from Wrexham. Cleworth again will leave it back for his captain. So that first minute of 10 minimum is underway, with O'Connell just stepping away from Will Evans again into the feet of Dobson, midway point of his own half. Shovels it out to this near touchline, and Cleworth bang on halfway. Early ball trying to get Smith in behind, and he's got the better of the bounce of the ball, drops at the edge of the area for Rodriguez. Smith with his back to goal, right hand corner of the box, gives it back to Longman. Smith again, plenty back defending for Mansfield, but on the overlap now is Cleworth into the box. Oh, he couldn't take the right touch, and Mansfield can let the ball trickle over the dead ball line for a goal kick, and a dangerous situation for Wrexham comes to nothing. 1-1.
Yeah, and it's a shame, I think, isn't it, for Cleworth? It's the fact that he doesn't get the best purchase on it. Actually, the ball into him as well from Dobson wasn't ideal. The weight of pass wasn't great, and earlier in the play as well, we've seen in terms of what the winders can do and the way that it can affect the game, because McLaughlin that gets caught underneath it, you thought for all the world he's just going to head it clear, and at the last minute I think there's a bus that takes it over him and a bit of chaos ensues.
McDonald fires the ball downfield for Mansfield into the feet of Caelan Vickers. Does well to keep it in play on this near touchline, but by keeping it in play it allowed Wrexham to win it back. But then the ball downfield for Smith caught the wind and actually drifted out of play on this near side, the Mansfield left. So another throw for Stephen McLaughlin, who can get to within about, 10 yards to the halfway line. In fact, he's going to be almost at the halfway line by the time he hurls it back into play. Headed in field by O'Connell. Touch from Rathbone, almost let Evans get the ball ahead of Cleworth, and he would have been heading towards the penalty area with the ball at his feet had that come off for him. But it's out of play for a Mansfield throw. 2.5 minutes of added time have gone. There were 10 added on for the injury to Andy Cannon. He's been stretchered off for Wrexham. Here is Dobson finding Rathbone, who's now sitting at the base of the midfield. Scampers over the halfway line and drifts out to the left-hand side, but Bacchus watching him all the way, so he ends up just turning back at Rathbone and firing it back into his own half for his captain. And then O'Connell passes straight to Nigel Clough. It's a great ball if he was looking for Nigel Clough, but there was no Wrexham player standing there.
Yeah, no idea what's going through his mind there. It's just a real lapse in concentration.
So Will Evans completely does Dobson on this near side, and then does himself actually in the end and loses possession. And Wrexham try and bring the ball clear and try and fire it up to Revan on halfway, but Bowery, back doing his defensive duty on that right hand side for the Stags, got in front of his man and dealt with that. Reed almost caught. Was he caught by Matt James? Well, both players got straight up and the referee saw nothing wrong with it. 1-1.
Yeah, it's just a full-blooded challenge, but the ball was definitely gotten there. So, as you say, love that. Both players get straight back up, want to play on. No rolling around.
An attempted ball slid down the inside left channel for Will Evans, but he just couldn't collect it. And so it bounced through to Okwonko. Mansfield 1, Wrexham 1. 4 minutes of added time have been played, so 6 more at least to come on Talksport 2 before we reach the half-time whistle. Here's Thomas O'Connor at the back for Wrexham. Gets over the halfway line, plays a 1-2 with Rathbone. Now Revan across to Cleworth on this near side. Bang on halfway. Faced up by Maris. And has to go back in field for O'Connell. Hits a long ball over the top, trying to get Smith in behind Flint. But between Flint and Kilgore, they deal with it. And Reed now has it for Mansfield. Plays the ball back to square to McDonald, who's had a lively first half, I think it's fair to say. McLaughlin hits a long ball down the left-hand side, but that drifts out of play again on this strong breeze. And Wrexham will have a throw. 5 of the allotted 10 minutes have elapsed. It's still 1-1 here on Talksport 2. Courtney Sweetman Kirk.
Just concerning for Mansfield how Sam Smith got him behind Aidan Flint there a little bit too easily. I was looking at the linesman thinking the flag might go up, because that's how easily he seemed to get him behind. I wonder if he started to run too early, but again, maybe is it the conditions of the wind just playing a little bit of a part in that too.
Wrexham have a throw bang on halfway, just down beneath our commentary position, as they attack the south stand in this first half in their all-black change strip. O'Connell with a back header that Evans is trying to chase onto, but across comes O'Connor and does really well, but he's conceded a throw because Will Evans doesn't give anything up lightly. So he will collect the throw down by the corner flag from McDonald, trying to hold play up, maybe try and win a corner if you can. And what's the referee giving? Another throw right at the corner flag down the left-hand side for Callum McDonald. Maris is making a move towards the edge of the area to collect the throw, but it's thrown in for Vickers. McDonald again, looking to get the better of Longman, but another throw goes Mansfield's way. Longman's convinced that came off the Mansfield player last of all. Referee disagrees. Maris collects the throw, tight to this near touchline, tries to flick it infield, headed on by McDonald, half volley clear by Longman, but Aidan Flint picks it up on the halfway line, but just elects to go back to his goalkeeper Flinders, who calmly strikes it downfield. And Callum McDonald's got in behind, tries to go for goal for the left-hand side, spilled by Akwanko, but he pounces on the loose ball when Bacchus was closest to him. 1-1.
Well, they were ball watching there, Wrexham. It's as simple as that. It's a nothing ball from Flinders. In terms of he's just trying to clear his lines, trying to hit an area. There's nothing specific in there. And as Wrexham completely fall to sleep, and they do well, Mansfield, to get that shot off, and Bacchus potentially was in there as well at the back post area. And Conquo, he does spill it, but second time of asking, manages to collect the ball.
Now Revan for Wrexham getting down the left-hand side. Great ball into the area, and Aidan Flint there first at the near post to volley it out into that derelict stand on the far side. It'll be a Wrexham throw, 10 yards from the corner flag. It's a good strong run from Seb Revan, and he throws the ball in to Dobson, gives it back to Revan. Cross is deflected into the area by Kilgore and volleyed away once more by Flint, but there's nobody to chase it down on halfway for Mansfield, so O'Connell has time to bring the ball down. Just tucks it back to his goalkeeper Okwanko, who found that initial shot from Callum McDonald too hot to handle, but he was able to pounce on the loose ball, so that's why it's still 1-1 here. 7.5 minutes of the minimum 10 have gone in stoppage time, and Wrexham in possession with George Dobson on halfway, turns and keeps the ball away from both Maris and Vickers, leaves it for Matty James, part of that Leicester City title winning squad in the Premier League back in 2015-16, still plying his trade at league level. Cleworth up to the halfway line, and Dobson to the right of centre again, but Mansfield are hunting in packs, and they're trying to stop Wrexham getting any sort of flow together. O'Connell has to have it again, and Cleworth forced to go back to his goalkeeper. And you can hear the appreciation for what Mansfield are doing from the fans sat around us, Courtney.
Yeah, and the shape's been phenomenal in both in possession and out of possession. And what I've seen from them today, more so than I've seen recently, is the fact that the wing backs are willing to commit and get forward. It's certainly not a 5 all the time. It's yes, it's a 5 defender, but when they're going forward, they're committing the wide players.
Wrexham have it again in their own defensive third. Max Cleworth hits a right-footed ball in the air, down the line, looking for Smith, dealt with by McLaughlin. Longman's onto the loose ball, and then Smith gets to his feet and works it infield to Dobson, but Dobson has to scurry back into his own half under pressure from Lewis Reed. Now a bit of space for Thomas O'Connor to work the ball out to the Wrexham left wing, and Revan, midway point of the Mansfield half, but he can't get any further down that touchline. Bowery had shut the door. So Wrexham again go back to halfway. We're in the final minute of that minimum 10 that was added on by referee Matt Corlett for the major injury to Andy Cannon, stretchered off with what looks like a knee ligament injury. Longman with a lovely cross, but it was fizzed across the face of goal and really too much for anybody to get on top of. And Revan was the closest to it at the far post and swung a left boot at it and got nowhere near. So Mansfield have a throw, and that should just about be that for this first half on Talksport 2. One apiece. 4-3 at St James's Park. Ryan Yates has got one for Nottingham Forest, but it's 4-3 in added time in the Premier League. The throw comes in from Bowery, volleyed back downfield by Revan, and there goes the half-time whistle. It's been a really entertaining first 55 minutes here on Talksport 2 at the One Call Stadium, and it got off to the worst possible start for Mansfield. Only 2 minutes had gone when Ollie Rathbone's cross from the left-hand side was turned into his own net by Callum McDonald. But how McDonald atoned for that error, because he was at the far post with a lovely finish to tuck away into the roof of the net from Keanu Bacchus' right-wing cross just after the quarter-hour mark to bring us level. Wrexham have had further chances, had one cleared off the line when the score was 1-0 by Stephen McLaughlin. A serious injury to midfielder Andrew Cannon meant we had 10 minutes of added time where no real chances were created for either side, but we are set up for a great second half here. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk's thoughts, I should say, at half-time. We're at 1-1, Courtney.
It's been a thoroughly enjoyable game. That's the first thing I have to say. I think both teams have shown quality in areas. There's been defensive shape that we spoke about from Mansfield, but similar from Wrexham in terms of really dogging in their defending and don't want to concede anymore. The only obviously negative part of this game is the fact that Andy Cannon's gone off with what looks like a very serious injury, but you're completely right, Dance. It's set up for a fantastic second half, and I think the reaction as well from Mansfield, I think I've been really impressed with the fact that they went down early doors, but they've got that goal back, and it's not just they've got it back and that's it, and they're just going to try and nullify the threats of Wrexham. They've wanted a second one, they've wanted to go ahead, so we're set up for a really good second half here.
Are there any Wrexham nerves that you can see? I mean, they know that Wickham are back within striking distance, having dropped points yesterday. That can play on players' minds at times, I suppose. Yeah,
it can, but I don't think I've really seen nervousness from them. I think the way that they've gone forward well, especially Rathbone, he's been really exciting. They shaved the side of the post with an opportunity from him. Revan as well down that left-hand side, I think he's been really bright. So I don't think there's any sense of nervousness. I think it's just two teams playing really well, attacking football and cancelling each other out at the moment.
Well, we'll bring you the second half live and exclusive to national radio here on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2, and it promises to be very, very tense and exciting indeed. Mansfield needing points to get away from trouble at the bottom. Wrexham needing points to keep in touch with the automatic promotion spots at the top. Which way is it going to go? Half-time score at the One Call Stadium is Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 1.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the English Football League.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in delivered to your door with McDelivery. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
And the winner of What Car's Best Plug-in Hybrid of the Year is the MG HS Plug-in Hybrid. With up to 75 miles of electric range and starting from just $31,495, it's an award-winning blend of style, efficiency and innovation. Plus, take a test drive and get £1,000 off when you purchase. The MG HS Plug-in Hybrid, leading the way in award-winning innovation. Book your test drive today at ng.co.uk. WLTP mileage may vary. T's and C's apply.
With Virgin Money, you can feed your wanderlust with epic travel perks, so you get extra for your money. And you can boost your balance with cashback and savings, so you get extra for your money. You can even enjoy rewards from across the Virgin family, so you get extra for your money. That's right. With Virgin Money, you get more for your money. Add extra to ordinary. Search Virgin Money. Backed by the current account switch service, UK 18 plus terms apply. Virgin Money is a trading name of Clydesdale Bank PLC.
Checkatrade.com.
At Checkatrade, you'll find reputable tradespeople ready to get to work on your home improvement jobs, big and small. But we know all you're going to remember about this ad is...
Checkatrade.com.
It's great that it sticks in your mind. Really, it is. But you should also know Checkatrade tradespeople commit to honest communication, agree costs up front, and a high quality of workmanship. You're still thinking about the
Checkatrade.com.
thing, aren't you? Download the app or visit
Checkatrade.com.
The Toyota CHR self-charging hybrid with sleek lines, sharp edges, a generous interior and an unforgettable silhouette. Choose bold design. Choose to stand out. Choose the Toyota CHR self-charging hybrid. Now available at 1.9% APR representative when flexibly financed through Toyota Financial Services. Visit your nearest Toyota centre to find out more. Available on PCP over 42 months when financed by 31st of March 2025. Optional final payment. Indemnities may be required. See website. Conditions apply.
Where can you get the latest breaking sports news delivered with the laser-like accuracy of Michael Van Gerwen?
1 hour and 80.
And hear passionate opinions debated with the confident dexterity of Virgil van Dijk.
Liverpool fans celebrate.
Answer on the radio show that's got the nation's sports fans buzzing like a Van de Graaff generator. Early breakfast with Shabana Hearn. Weekday mornings from 5 on Talk Sport with Adrian Flux Van Insurance. Insurance for the individual. Search Adrian Flux Van Insurance to find out more.
It's the totally immersive football experience.
Right foot in. Oh, what a goal!
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Slid forward looking for Dombia, but Mads Anderson will just watch that through and let it go all the way through to the goalkeeper, who's come out and then taken down Dombia, and Watford have a penalty.
Wow.
A hush around the stadium as Deli Bashiri steps up and slides it into the bottom corner to give Watford the lead here.
And that's a really well taken penalty for sure.
Chakvetadze now storming towards the Luton goal in the penalty area. The defenders are backing off. He goes past the defender, squares it for Kayembe, who knocks it in for Watford's second.
If we didn't know about the talents of Chakvetadze before today, then we certainly do now.
There is the full-time whistle then. Back-to-back wins for Tom Cleverley's Watford to help them climb a little further up the table, edge towards those playoff places. Another loss for Matt Bloomfield's Luton Town, who are rock bottom of the Championship.
You're listening to EFL League One live on Talksport 2. Ian Danter and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk with you at the One Call Stadium in Mansfield, where the half-time score in our second commentary of the day from the EFL, Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 1. Been a very entertaining first half indeed. But earlier today, you just heard the highlights with Flo Pollock and Scott Minto, your commentary team at Vicarage Road, where those deadly rivals Watford and Luton met up again, but it was a comfortable 2-0 win for the Hornets to leave them on the fringes of the playoffs, whilst Luton remain bottom. And that means that Hatters boss Matt Bloomfield is winless in his first 8 matches since he left Wycombe to take over at Luton last month. After the match, Matt Bloomfield spoke to Flo Pollock.
So Matt, another game without a win, and you spoke about performance ahead of this, and the performance against Sheffield United and Plymouth were good performances. How do you assess today's performance?
Disappointing first half. I thought we actually started first 5, 6, 7 minutes. I thought we actually started quite well, played in Watford's half, had a couple of set piece situations, gave away 2 soft goals, and from there we had a mountain to climb.
And yeah, your thoughts on the penalty?
Just in a replay, it looks like the goalkeeper arrives at the same time as the forward. At the time, my instinct wasn't of concern and worry. It didn't look like it was a penalty at the time, and on the replay, it seems a bit soft.
And in terms of the defence as well, you had to make changes. No Naismith or McGuinness. That must have been a blow for you in terms of having to reconfigure that defence.
Of course, yeah. We're 5 centre-backs down at the moment, which is obviously disappointing, especially coming off the back of 2 real good performances. Saturday, Tuesday, we had to reconfigure a little bit, but we backed the players that we put in. But unfortunately for us, obviously, we conceded 2 goals first half, which was disappointing.
And in terms of confidence, obviously those 2 goals, your side looked a little lacking in confidence after that. And how do you, as a manager, lift your side for the remaining 12 games?
I think the rest of the first half we did, but I didn't think second half we did. I thought we played in good areas. We passed the ball well. We got into attacking areas, didn't quite have that final touch, and 1 goal could have led to something more for us. But we have to keep working. We have to keep lifting ourselves every single day. And once that first result comes, I'm sure more will follow.
Yeah, and as you say, still looking for that first win as Luton Town manager. How are you feeling in terms of the pressure around you and being bottom of the Championship?
It's not a nice situation. I understand that. It's not something that anyone enjoys, these moments, but you have to relish the challenge and you have to look at it as an opportunity to improve. And we've got certainly a lot of work to do to make sure we improve.
Well, that's Matt Bloomfield, the manager of Luton Town, in conversation with Talksport 2's Flo Pollock after that defeat at Watford. I mean, my overriding impression, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, having listened to that interview, is he sounds nowhere near the Matt Bloomfield who was, I wouldn't say happy-go-lucky, but certainly had a less mournful countenance when he was in charge at the Chairboys.
Yeah, and it is a difficult one, isn't it? Because obviously in a great position at Wycombe, but then you think, how often do these opportunities to manage in the Championship come along? He obviously believed in the project at Luton, but yeah, it's not obviously turned out the way that he was expecting, and it's, I think, spoken about this quite a lot, and I think a lot of responsibility's got to be on those players as well, because a lot of those players were playing Premier League this time last year and were putting in good performances. Obviously I know they went down in the end, but sort of very much night and day, and there'll be a lot around that in terms of confidence and psychology and the feeling of being a Premier League player to coming back down and not being able to recapture that. But it's just think all told, actually quite a desperately sad situation for the club that by getting promoted to the Premier League had actually secured their future for the time being, and the sort of new stadium is in the works. But now it looks like if things don't change very dramatically, they're going to be in League One next season.
I think we've seen back-to-back relegations before when teams go down from Premier League to League One in next to no time. I think that happened to Sunderland. It might even have happened to Southampton. Somebody might be able to correct me otherwise. But when you look at, Rob Edwards, it took its toll on him, because there's another fella who, was a really fists-up, positive manager. And I interviewed him a couple of times when he was at Forest Green Rovers, where he sort of developed and made his breakthrough as a manager. By the end of his tenure at Luton, he just looked a broken man, a completely broken man. And Luton is not a poorly run club, as you mentioned. They financially didn't break the bank to get up into the Premier League. They didn't overspend whilst they were in there. So, I don't think Luton fans have any issue, particularly with the way that Matthew Sweet and the others are running the club. And you got Mick Harford there as a wonderful sounding board for any manager to use. But I don't know why it's going wrong as badly as it is. As you say, a lot of those players in that squad were good enough to at least try and mix it at Premier League level.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think then a lot of the onus realistically is on the players, and that's not really how modern day football works. We've seen that the manager will always be the one that takes the fall, but I think that, a lot of those players have got some questions to answer about why they can't be able to deliver that same level of form. Technical ability is one thing, but a lot of times I suppose effort's been asked of them as well. I think that's been questions that are being asked now from the Luton fans. So, as you say, everything else in terms of the way that the club's run seems to be in place. And you're right, I've had the pleasure of interviewing Rob as well, more so in the better days when Luton were getting promoted to the Premier League and in the Premier League. And unfortunately, as you say, he came to a point where he seemed like a broken man. The stresses of the job had certainly taken a hold of him. But for me, I don't see how Luton get out of this now.
A quick look at the Championship in general whilst we're here, Courtney, because we are your home of the EFL. Massive game tomorrow night at Bramall Lane. Your old club, Sheffield United, up against Leeds. Can go top with a win, even though Leeds have been, sweeping all before them and got that amazing win last Monday night against Sunderland live on the Talksport network. How do you see this one going tomorrow night?
Well, my heart would love to say Sheffield United, but I think it's going to be a right ding-dong of a game. I think the fact that Sunderland took Leeds so close probably shows you that they can be there to be got at. But I think probably Blades I wouldn't say have gone under the radar, that's the wrong thing to say, but I think Leeds have put in these performances where they've beat teams, 7-0, 5-0, so
yeah, their goal difference is way better.
Yeah, and they've caught the attention a little bit more, whereas Blades have done it in a different way. They've almost got it over the line, done what's needed to be done. Yes, they've played fantastic at football at times, but they've also been very gritty and be able to sort of get wins out of nowhere when maybe they didn't deserve it in some sense, in an attacking sense, but that defensive form and the way that they've played at Bramall Lane has been brilliant, so I'm really excited to watch it, let's put it that way.
And just down the road from here, Derby, still in the bottom three. John Eustace yet to work the oracle since coming in. There's another managerial appointment where you're saying, well, OK, you made your choice, and it's not working out for Derby so far. Beaten by Millwall at Pride Park yesterday.
Exactly, late on as well, wasn't it, I believe? So, like you say, it's you're looking at Bloomfield saying, why would you leave that? And, John Eustace has obviously, again, got his reasons, as all managers do, but it looks like a real poor decision right now, doesn't it?
Courtney, thank you. Don't forget, Sheffield United Leeds live on Talksport 2 tomorrow night. And there is a change. And Deji Oshilaja is coming on for, I think it's Callum MacDonald who's gone off in actual fact. The man who scored the own goal and the equalising goal, who has had to make way at half-time. That's clearly a blow for him. So the change has been very quickly made by Nigel Clough. And so Deji Oshilaja, who hasn't played this month, he got 10 minutes against Crawley at the back end of January. Joined on a free transfer from Nigel Clough's former team, Burton Albion, at the start of the season. So he's on and looks to be playing as the left of three centre-halves now, and McLaughlin has gone out to the left wing-back position that McDonald occupied in the first half. So, to give you the lineups, Flinders is in goal for Mansfield. You've got Barry at right wing-back. So it's now Kilgore, Flint and Oshilaja as 3 centre-halves. McLaughlin left wing-back. Maris, Reid and Bacchus in central midfield. Barry right wing-back. And then Vickers and Evans up top. As for Wrexham, they had to make a change with that serious injury to Andy Cannon. So Okwonko is their goalkeeper. I'll break off for a minute as the ball comes into the area from Revan, but Flinders catches for Mansfield. Okwonko the keeper. Cleworth, O'Connell and O'Connor are the 3 centre-halves. Longman, Dobson, James now in place of Cannon, Rathbone and Revan across midfield. Smith and Rodriguez in attack. And the second half is underway with Wrexham in their change trip of all black this afternoon, heading for the James Brunt stand to our left, which is where the Wrexham fans are. Mansfield in the regulation yellow and blue, attacking the south stand here at the One Call Stadium on a blustery afternoon in Nottinghamshire. It's finished Newcastle 4, Nottingham Forest 3 in the early Premier League game. Manchester City take on Liverpool at quarter of an hour's time. Real Madrid are 1-0 up against Girona in La Liga as they bid to overhaul Barcelona at the top. And Wrexham are in possession with Cleworth sending the ball over halfway, but McLaughlin stepped in front of Ryan Longman and headed the ball out of play. So a bit of reshuffling going on at half time for Mansfield, Courtney.
Yeah, you can only imagine it must be an injury, because obviously didn't have the best of starts, did he, McDonald? But gets the goal back at the other end, puts it in the Wrexham net instead of his own net, and actually looked really good going forward after that. You could see that the goal gave him confidence, so it's an interesting one.
So Wrexham in possession, trying to eat into that 6-point advantage that Wickham have got over them in the second automatic promotion spot in League One. We've also got a Football League Trophy semi-final coming up against Peterborough on Wednesday for the right to face Birmingham in the final in April. Longman, right-hand side for Wrexham at the right-hand corner of the area, tries to play a 1-2 with Dobson, but Reid will clear for Mansfield. Wrexham will tidy up on the halfway line and have it back with their captain Owen O'Connell. James shovels it out to the right wing for Dobson. Diagonal ball into the area. Little knockdown from Sam Smith goes behind Revan, and that allows Barry just to hoof it anywhere. And he goes out of play for a throw-in on this near side, 1-1.
It looks really, really early in the second half, don't get me wrong, but I think Wrexham are trying to wrestle control of this game. Looked a bit more thoughtful in possession in this early period of the second half.
Bit of a wasteful ball in field from Sam Smith. Reid, though, gives it away, intercepted by James. Now Dobson looks for Smith at the left-hand corner of the area, but the ball was hit too sharply at him, and Smith just couldn't control it. Goes behind for a Mansfield goal kick. 3.5 gone in the second half on Talksport 2. It's Mansfield 1, Wrexham 1.
Yeah, and you're right. I think there's probably a little bit too much on the ball. I also think that Smith was on his heels just a little bit. Normally in that position as a forward, you're 1 foot forward, almost in that sort of sprinter stance, ready to go, but he's on his heels there. I don't think he was expecting the ball.
The wind is definitely at Wrexham's back in this second half as they attack the end to our left as we sit towards the top of the Ian Greaves stand here at the One Call, and the ball definitely holds up from the goal kick from Flinders. McLaughlin gets an important foot in to kick the ball away from Smith. Flinders hits it again. Once more it holds up in the wind, so it doesn't reach the halfway line. O'Connell with a strong header ahead of Will Evans, but Mansfield just trying to guide the ball down, and McLaughlin just puts his foot through it and just asks Caelan Vickers to give chase down the left-hand side, and it will drift out of play for a Wrexham throw. And he gave that absolutely everything, Stephen McLaughlin, and it barely made it to the midway point of the opposition half.
I think the wind's got even stronger with these teams coming out in the second half, so, and we've mentioned it, but it's about, as a footballer, playing the conditions, having to assess it as you go along, and you're just hoping that it doesn't cause a mistake where someone gets caught under the ball.
Revan will let the ball run out of play so that Wrexham can have a throw just over the halfway line. And he will take it himself, Revan, back for O'Connor inside his own half. Evans pushing on against the 3 Wrexham centre-halves. Cleworth just bypasses Maris with a decent ball to get to Dobson, still inside his own half, George Dobson. So too is James, who's just received the ball next to the centre circle, works it left for Thomas O'Connor. Lovely long ball downfield, trying to catch out Kilgore, who manages to take the ball on his chest and slide it out of play because he knew Sam Smith was right behind him. 1-1.
Yeah, and I was just watching Flinders though. He starts to come as well, and quite quickly I think thinks a lot better of it.
Wrexham fans behind that goal to our left, sensing that there might be something here rather than just the point to take back to North Wales. O'Connell inside the Mansfield half, plays it left for O'Connor, hits it against Evans. It's a throw to the Dragons. 5 minutes gone in the second half on Talksport 2, one apiece. As Revan collects the throw, tries to wrestle his way past Bowery, and he was brought down by a combination of Bowery and Evans. So Wrexham have got a free kick down the left-hand side of the Mansfield Town penalty box. And in fact, the original offence is what the free kick's been given for, which is nearer to the touchline in actual fact, but it's still level with the 18-yard line. 1-1.
The referee, Matt Corlett, I think he did well. He wanted to play the advantage, and Revan actually sort of slivered three of the first challenge, but then gets caught on the second one, so referee blows up, rightly so.
Well, Ollie Rathbone hit a right-footed in-swinging cross in the first half that clipped the outside of the post. Here he is from the set piece, whipping it into the near, headed away by Bacchus, drops for James at the edge of the area. Dobson sends it back into the danger zone, smacked against the bar by Cleworth with his right foot. Just an instinctive smack at goal from the Wrexham centre half, but it hit the top of the crossbar and has gone out for a Wrexham throw.
Yeah, he does really well, Cleworth. It's just about the way that he reacts to it's not even the second phase, it's the third phase. Does really well.
Now Matty James down the right-hand side of the box, but he couldn't get hold of the cross, and Oshilaja was defending the area well and protecting the ball, so it ends up being a Mansfield goal kick, and that's as close as we've come since the restart. Wrexham trying to go through the gears here, but it stays 1-1 on Talksport 2.
I mentioned in the first half they're good from set pieces. Wrexham score a good proportion of their goals from set pieces, so I know it would have been a worry, Mansfield, when they saw that they'd given away that free kick.
Well, they dealt with the first ball into the box relatively well, Mansfield, but it just couldn't get it clear. Now Evans, dispossessed by Rathbone on halfway, immediately floats it down the left-hand side, asking Smith to give chase. Can he keep it in play? Well, Oshilaja stayed with him, won the ball back well for Mansfield, into the feet of Bacchus, tucks it out to this near side of the right, and Jordan Bowery clips the ball infield. It's just going to evade Will Evans. Ball really being fizzed about at the moment, and now it's slowed down for Rathbone. Left-hand side, plays it infield, deflected by Reed into the path of Kilgore. Then Vickers gets an important touch, and then Evans hits the ball against O'Connor, and Mansfield have a throw now just inside the Wrexham half of the field as they try and get up ahead of steam. Neat turn from Bacchus, just couldn't get away though from the second Wrexham challenge, and then Rodriguez is caught on halfway by Kilgore. Referee thought about it and gave the free kick to Wrexham. 1-1.
Yeah, and I think Kilgore, he knows, and he's actually trying to pull out, but the problem is his body, the force that is exerting through his body still takes him through. Does catch Rodriguez, so right decision from the referee.
So O'Connor with the free kick for Wrexham. We've played 9 minutes of the second half on Talksport 2. One apiece. Other one call. Forward he goes from the free kick, looking for Rodriguez to head it down. He was looking along the 18-yard line for his strike partner Sam Smith, but again just a long hoof downfield from Kilgore on this occasion, and Thomas O'Connor kept the ball away from Will Evans with a hooked clearance that almost caught Evans in the face.
What I will say is though, I think Evans to a degree ducks into that, so I think that's why the assistant doesn't give it. He was right in front of it.
Ball's back inside the Wrexham penalty area, and good pressure from Caelan Vickers to stop O'Connell's ball going downfield. Work back infield from the right-hand side, looking for Keanu Bacchus, but he ran into Matty James. Ball over halfway. Oshilaja fouls Smith. He can't believe that the decision's gone against him, and a yellow card is going to be issued to Deji Oshilaja, whilst Wrexham think they can take a quick free kick. Referee hadn't finished dealing with the substitute, who can't believe that that's been given against him as a foul, never mind a yellow card.
And you know what, Sam Smith, he's livid because he thinks that this should be a red card. Nowhere near it, by the way, because he's too far high up the pitch. There's a covering defender. No, we saw it yesterday, didn't we, in the Premier League with Raya. He charged out his goal as well, but whereas the difference here was Flinders. He on his line, in the box on the 6-yard line, I think he was. So there's no way that's denying a clear goal scoring opportunity for me.
So it ends up being a free kick in the centre circle for Wrexham, but a yellow card for the substitute Oshilaja. 10 minutes gone in the second half, one apiece. Ball's back on halfway with O'Connell and O'Connor. Slid out to the left wing, just down beneath us to our left, and Seb Revan. But Mansfield pushing out high. The whole back line pushed almost to the edge of the centre circle there. Now they're dropping a little as Wrexham have it with Cleworth, who neatly steps past the challenge of Vickers on halfway. Gets down the right-hand side, puts into the area, just bobbles over the boot of Jay Rodriguez. And Mansfield get the ball away from their own 18-yard box, but at the expense of a throw. 1-1.
Yeah, it was a little bit behind Rodriguez. He stretches a leg out to try and get something to it. It's quite fortunate, really, that it comes off to a defender from Mansfield's point of view.
It's former Liverpool and Sheffield United women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk joining us today here in the press box at the One Call Stadium. 11 minutes gone after the restart. One apiece. Wrexham were ahead inside 3 minutes through an own goal from Callum MacDonald, who then equalised to atone for the error just after the 15-minute mark. And we've stayed there ever since. Bowery tries to get a footing on Rathbone. The ball ricochets out to the left-hand corner of the box, and Revan trying to take on Bowery, who put in a strong challenge, and it's gone out of play for a Wrexham throw. Fans around us loving that challenge from Jordan Bowery. 1-1.
Yeah, this is so entertaining, Dallas, but in a completely different way for the first half, where it was all about that finessing the play and attacking football, whereas this now is so messy, it's frantic, it's absolute chaos, but it's brilliant.
Revan gets a good ball in from the left-hand touchline, evades Rodriguez, Cleworth to the edge of the area. What a goal! What a strike from Max Cleworth! A low drive from the edge of the area that fizzed into the corner of the net. Flinders got nowhere near it, and Wrexham are back in front. 12 minutes inside the restart. Max Cleworth with a bullet of a right-footed shot. It's Mansfield 1, Wrexham 2.
What a strike this is. Flinders, he can't get anywhere near it. I don't think any goalkeeper's getting anywhere near this. But I mentioned it's chaos. It's bobbling around in the box. No one can really get hold of it. Mansfield can't clear it. It doesn't look like Wrexham could get anything out of it. But then you just see marauding forward Cleworth, and you can see exactly what he wants to do. His eyes are lighting up, driving towards the ball, and then strikes it so well. Hard, true, through bodies. It's in that bottom left-hand corner as we look at the goal, and that is a wonderful strike.
7th League One goal of the season for Max Cleworth. And the Dragons are back in front and back on the hunt for that second automatic spot. 58 minutes gone, we're back underway on Talksport 2. Mansfield have to do it all again. And Max Cleworth, the academy graduate at Wrexham, turned pro, 5 years ago. Over 100 appearances for the Welsh club. Great servant, great strike.
What I love about it is he was striding up to that ball with so much purpose. There was no indecision in his mind. There was no doubt, to me, what he was going to do. Just see he was going to put his foot through it, aim for goal, but he's got the quality as well to find the back of the net. Sublime.
I'd love to measure that for miles per hour, because that fairly tore into the bottom corner. It might have been half an inch above the ground from the moment it left his boot, heading into the back of the net.
Yeah, I think it was one of those. He'll have known as soon as that left his foot that it was going in the back of the net.
So 2-1 to Wrexham as we approach the hour mark. And O'Connell will get it back to Okwonko under pressure from Will Evans, but a good clearance from Okwonko, and the wind will help that downfield. McLaughlin having to turn and face his own dead ball line out on the far left-hand touchline. Oshilaja then hits the ball against Longman, and it's a goal kick to Mansfield. So what does Nigel Clough do here? He's got some experience on the bench in the likes of Jordan Rhodes as a goal getter. They will call upon him sooner rather than later. Jordan Rhodes, who's just joined on loan from Blackpool, hasn't scored yet in the several appearances he's made for Mansfield Town. 35 years young now, Jordan Rhodes. Flinders with the goal kick, but that just drifts out of play on this near side, much the same as a lot of Okwonko's goal kicks did for Wrexham in the first half.
I think that substitutes bench. Yes, there's that bit of quality on there in Jordan Rhodes and experience, but looking at that, you'd say on paper that Wrexham have got the better strength in depth on the bench as well, and they can shuffle the pack too. And Barnett's got the most assists, isn't he, at the moment in League One? But I think you're right, Dante, he's probably being saved for the semi-final on Wednesday, so probably why he didn't start.
Here's Seb Revan up to the left-hand corner of the area for Wrexham. Right to the challenge of Reed, plays it into the box along the deck looking for Smith, but Oshilaja pokes it clear. Reed heads it toward the halfway line, brought down but lost, and then a rasping drive from, that was Jay Rodriguez, just speculatively smacked the ball goalwards from a good 40 yards out, thinking the wind was going to help him out, but it went well over the crossbar. Mansfield goal kick away to our left-hand side. So we're past the hour mark for Talksport 2's League One live commentary this afternoon. Mansfield against Wrexham with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in delivered to your door with McDelivery. Stags in possession with Lewis Reed in the centre circle. Plays it out left for McLaughlin, who's hit the ball against Longman as the ball trickles down that left-hand touch line. And Wrexham can't keep it in play. It is a throw-in to Mansfield, left-hand side. Oshilaja gets to the ball quickly, wants to take it quickly, but instead he's going to leave it for McLaughlin to take. Vickers has come short. Maris just inside the area. But Vickers collects the throw, works it back to Oshilaja, left-hand side. Deep cross into the box, but it's headed away by O'Connell. Drops though for Reed, running out to the left-hand side. Dobson got there first and slid it out of play, and actually he's won a throw for Wrexham inside his own half. Good work from George Dobson there for the visitors.
Yeah, he wasn't playing too much, I don't think, Dobson, towards the start of the season. But in terms of his energy and what he brings in that sense, yes, he's not the most technical player in this squad on the ball, but the way that he uses energy to gee everyone up around him and out of possession especially is a very good player for Wrexham.
Double change for Mansfield Town. I mentioned Jordan Rhodes. Well, I'll get to him first, but Aaron Lewis is coming on first, the former Swansea and Newport man, taking on another Welsh club. He's come on for Bacchus. And the other change, well, they're going to switch to a back four, I think, because Alfie Kilgore can only do an hour or so's worth of work battling back from injury, and Jordan Rhodes yet to score in a Mansfield shirt since his loan move from Blackpool is on in his place. So Lewis goes into midfield. I think so too does Vickers, and Rhodes will play alongside Evans for the remaining half an hour or so on Talksport 2. 2-1 Wrexham.
That means Evans, I think, will have a different role just to make sure he's got all the energy around Rhodes and working off him.
Mansfield going for it, really. Taking off a centre-half and putting on a midfielder and a striker. O'Connor for Wrexham. It's 2-1 to the Welsh side. We've played 63 minutes. Flint will head the ball down for Vickers. Neatly turns the ball into the path of Lewis. His first involvement, flicking the ball back to Jordan Bowery. Evans on this near touchline, the right. Thinks he's won a throw, and he has, off Ollie Rathbone, and Phil Parkinson is giving the fourth official and the assistant plenty of verbals suggesting that was anything but a Mansfield throw. Bowery to take it. Looking for the head of Jordan Rhodes, but Lewis gets it back, guides it back for Oshilaja. Now Flint, who has assumed the captain's armband since Kilgore's gone off. Fires the ball into the feet of Lewis. Good ball in field for Vickers, who can drive into the centre of the half. McLaughlin calling for it left-hand side. Just has to check his stride before he picks up the loose ball. Reed can't pick it up, but it deflects up to the edge of the area. Evans tried to toe poke it through for Vickers. Cleared away by Wrexham, but they've got everybody back behind the ball. Mansfield have got plenty forward in yellow and blue, but they've worked it back to halfway, and Flint just turns away from Rodriguez for a moment. Oshilaja jinks away from the challenge of Sam Smith. And now it's Bowery as Mansfield have it again just shy of the halfway line. Lewis will give it back to Bowery.
Fine margins, isn't it, Dan? It's the way that Vickers again there. We've seen it a few times now with Mansfield where they get in a good position, they work it well, they're on the half-time, they go forward, but that ball, it needs to be in front of your teammate. But by the time you've had to check your run, come back round, the opportunity that they make disappears.
I'm sure you shake your head as soon as he let the ball go off his foot. Bowery, strong run down the right-hand side for Mansfield. Near the dead ball line. Holding the ball up and protecting it from Revan. Support from Lewis on this near side. Plays a 1-2 with Vickers. Barry wants it again on this near touchline, gives it back to Lewis, fires it up to the edge of the area. Rhodes showing all his experience, holds it up. It's worked left to George Maris. Maris wanted to go for goal from 30 yards out. What a great block from George Dobson. Ricocheted out to halfway, but Mansfield have kept the ball. Oshilaja out to McLaughlin, left-hand side, has to give it back to Oshilaja, and Wrexham can finally push out from their own defensive third. 25 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Wrexham going to go within 3 points of Wickham and the second automatic spot as things stand. And Mansfield will stay just 6 points above the fourth relegation spot, currently occupied by Nigel Clough's old side Burton Albion, who won yesterday. Oshilaja on halfway, plays a 1-2 with McLaughlin. He's out on the far left-hand side in front of that derelict east stand. Flint will now pick it up in the centre circle, runs into the Wrexham half of the field. Barry showing on this near touchline. A slightly ambitious ball down the right-hand side of the box, looking for Aaron Lewis. I think he was expecting the wind to hold it up, but it was almost like the wind was at his back there, the way he hit that past Flint, and it went flying over the dead ball line on the full for a goal kick to Wrexham, who lead 2-1.
Yeah, and he's so frustrated with himself, Aidan Flint. I think he's apologised to his teammate Lewis there about 3 times, but in terms of, again, that reaction that we've seen from Mansfield after going behind, it's been positive. They've really penned Wrexham in. It's just that final little bit of quality in the final third that they've been lacking.
Okwonko's goal kick actually comes back Mansfield's way. George Maris on halfway. Lewis is making a run through the centre circle, and Barry moving up again on this near side the right. First time touch for Lewis. Turns it infield to the edge of the area. Evans making tracks, but across comes Owen O'Connell, and a calm, cool, confident clearance from the Wrexham number 5.
I like that from Barry, though, the way that he opens up his body, and it's just that ball in the outside channel.
Flint, another player with over 600 career appearances to his name with the likes of Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday and Swindon, hasn't scored since coming to Mansfield Town. He's on the ball now inside the centre circle. Aidan Flint rolls it out left for Maris, who's now making tracks down that left-hand side, plays into the feet of Rhodes. Rhodes again holding it up, elects to roll it back into his own half, and Oshilaja and Flint will have it again. Flint plays it back out to the left-hand side. Maris turns it infield first time. It'll break for Will Evans in the centre circle, but Rathbone wins it off him and got caught by Evans, and it's going to be a yellow card for the Mansfield number 11. Not sure he saw that Rathbone was coming round the back and took the ball off his toe, and he had no option but to bring him down and get a yellow card.
It's because his first touch lets him down as well. His first touch is bigger than he would like. He then, you're right, I don't think he sees Rathbone on the blind side and catches him as he's trying to recover the ball from his first poor touch.
So Wrexham's free kick almost bang on the centre spot. The captain Owen O'Connell to take it. Just over 20 minutes to go here on Talksport 2. Wrexham have a precious 2-1 lead to try and cling on to for their automatic promotion aspirations. They've got Peterborough next in that semi-final of the EFL Trophy, then Bolton at home, Huddersfield away, Rotherham at home, Reading away, and then Wickham away. I think that's early April when they go to Adams Park for what could be one heck of a showdown for automatic promotion, unless Birmingham City have a massive drop-off in their form.
I don't think that's going to happen, and I can say that for you, Dance.
And only a point yesterday at Reading. 0-0 draw at lunchtime for Chris Davis's table toppers. Mansfield in possession, 2-1 down. Back it goes to Oshilaja on halfway. Wrexham have got a good defensive shape. Mansfield trying to find a way to play round it. Maris out on the left-hand side, slides it down the left flank for McLaughlin, who's offside. Flag went up very quickly from the assistant on this near side to us. So Wrexham will have a free kick in their right-back position. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the top 2 in the Championship clash here on Talksport 2. Sheffield United against Leeds. Coverage will start from 7 o'clock here on Talksport 2, kick-off at 8. And then all 10 Premier League midweek fixtures, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, are live and exclusive for national radio on either Talksport, Talksport 2, Talk Radio, or the Talksport app. Okwonko wants to take a free kick, but the ball's rolling in that place that he's placed it down just outside his area, right-hand side. Now he will smack it right-footed again. The wind carries it a good distance into the Mansfield half, headed back by Flint towards the halfway line. But here's Revan for Wrexham, drifting out to this left-hand touchline. Lewis trying to close down the space. Revan jinks onto his right, then back onto his left, puts a cross into the box, straight onto the forehead of Flint, nodded back towards the area by Rathbone. And Jay Rodriguez tried to keep it in as Mansfield players left it. Was left red-faced there, but Rodriguez couldn't keep it into the dead ball line. Mansfield goal kick. They trail 2-1.
I think the tempo's just lessened in the game. I think it's a mixture of Wrexham trying to do that and something that we've seen with Mansfield as well in the last stages of game. I think they struggle sometimes with that energy, and it's certainly slowed down.
8,122 inside the one call this afternoon, including probably a good 1,500 or so, I would say, who've come over from North Wales for this one. They're going to go home happy as things stand. 19 minutes to go. Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 2. Nigel Clough really shouting at Jordan Barry. I think he's at the centre of his ire at the moment. Barry trying to close down the space for Revan down this left-hand side, who works it in field, but that allows Flint to get the ball up to halfway. Laid off by Rhodes to Vickers, who darts through the centre circle. Needs an option. Most of things are to his right. Now he holds the ball up and lays it off to Lewis Reed, who works it out to McLaughlin on the left-hand side. 5 players forward in the box waiting for a cross, but it's gone back in field to Aidan Flint in the centre circle. Now Lewis looks for Barry on this near side on the Mansfield right. There's 3 waiting for a cross. It's deflected by Barry. Might break at the near post. Half cleared. Rhodes goes in. Wins it back edge of the D. Might break at the edge of the box. Reed ticks up Maris. Maris with a drive, and it's straight to Okwonko, who holds onto it gratefully in front of his goal line. Half chance for Mansfield. Stays 2-1 Wrexham.
Yeah, and they worked that well. Initially, I think they were groans when the ball went backwards, but they recycle it, bring it out to the right-hand side to Barry. I think his ball in was poor, to be honest. It's quite fortunate that Jordan Rhodes makes the most of it. And you see, in the end, Maris, when he gets the shot off, just can't quite get the purchase on it he wants. He can't get the power that's going to make the ball fly past the Conquo.
2-1 to Wrexham. They're underway at the Etihad. Manchester City 0, Liverpool 0. Updates of that on the Sunday session on Talksport. Here come Wrexham with Longman into the area right-hand side, under the crossbar, and Smith can't convert the header. It just went over his head, trying to apply the finish right in front, but it just drifted over the top of his head and goes behind for a goal kick. And here come a couple of changes for Wrexham, and Ryan Barnett is coming on. And he's going to come on for Ryan Longman in position, and the other player coming off is Jay Rodriguez to allow the big man, Stephen Fletcher, 37 years young, over 400 EFL appearances. Hiram Boateng also going to be coming on, this time for Mansfield. And it's George Maris, I think, that's making way, it is, for Hiram Boateng to come on for the Stags. Defensive midfielder, came from Milton Keynes a couple of years ago. So Barnett and Fletcher on, and it's like-for-like changes, whichever way you like it, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. No change in terms of Wrexham's shape anyway.
No, and it's one of them for Mansfield. You're looking at Barnett coming on and you're thinking most assists in the league, one of the most creative players. So when you're tired, trying to get back into the game, it's the last thing you want to see.
Yeah, Stephen Fletcher, a great option to bring off the bench, just that physicality. I'm sure him and Aidan Flint will have a tussle or two before the game is out. Just over a quarter of an hour to play on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL in League One. Promotion chasing Wrexham lead by 2-1 at a struggling Mansfield Town. But there's only one goal in it. Here is Barnett getting involved for the first time since coming on as a substitute, trying to wriggle away from the challenge of Reed. Keeps it on the right-hand side and tucks it back to the halfway line. Here's the captain, O'Connell, just inside his own half. Plays it along the deck into the Wrexham half for Dobson. Dobson trying to spot the run of Rodriguez. Oh, he got it because Flint misjudged the flight of the ball. Now Revan, left-hand side of the area. Can he get a cross in? Barry's trying to stop the cross. Goes deep to the far post. Up goes Ryan Barnett. Smith was there as well. Barnett's got it down by the corner flag, right-hand side. Gives it to Cleworth, whose goal separates the sides, and he's won a throw on that far side of the field as it came off around Boateng's leg. 2-1 to Wrexham.
Yeah, it's such a shame because Dobson, it was brilliant the way that he drops the shoulder, turns, and then he fires the ball into Fletcher, and I don't know whether he wasn't expecting it to get to him, but I think if he takes it on his back foot there, he's into the box, he can have a shot, but for some reason goes backwards with the initial touch and the opportunity disappears.
So a throw to Wrexham, taken quickly. Fletcher gives it back to Barnett. Ball goes into the area, comes out to Fletcher, back into the box. Smith's touch wasn't sufficient for him to bring it under control, and the ball was tucked back and picked up by the goalkeeper. And Flinders, well, he's been told to get it downfield by the slightly agitated supporters around us, eventually bowls it out underarm, and McLaughlin trying to help it down the left-hand side. It's not gone, it has gone out of play. The assistant's put up his flag now on the far side, so Wrexham have a throw, and we're still waiting. We've had that one half chance for Mansfield since they went behind. Will they have a late rally here and put Wrexham under pressure? 14 to go, 2-1 to the Welsh side.
Well, and I know the crowd were getting on at Flinders there because they want a bit of urgency, and I understand that, but that's the exact reason why he just didn't get his foot through it and punt it upfield, because his teammate tried to do the same thing. The wing catches it and it goes out of play and they lose the ball. So they've got to be a bit more clever with it, Mansfield, because the elements are really causing havoc with obviously the ball in the air.
They need a ball because half of them have gone down the terraced streets from the recent challenges that have come in. So McLaughlin will have a throw for Mansfield, bang on halfway on the far side of the field from us. They're attacking the south stand in this second half, the Stags, and McLaughlin will just fire it downfield. It just goes over the head of Caelan Vickers. Wrexham sending the ball forward to Fletcher. Oshilar just seemed to have his arms round him, but the referee saw nothing wrong with it and it's given the Stags a throw in over on the far side. Still 2-1 to Wrexham with less than 13 minutes to go. Now the ball's fired forward by McLaughlin once again. It drifts away from Will Evans. Wrexham fire it downfield. It's kept in play on the far side by Ryan Barnett. Did really well, but he's got McLaughlin for company. They both lose out, but then Cleworth steps in, knocks it down the right-hand side. George Dobson controls it with his face.
Yeah, the wind just takes the ball.
He did manage to keep it in play, in fairness to George Dobson. And the ball headed out of play, and Mansfield have a throw. They've got to get up ahead of steam here, Mansfield, just to put Wrexham under pressure, because they're happy with the ball where it is at the moment. I'm sure Phil Parkinson's side, it's been mostly in their half in the past 2 or 3 minutes, and you can hear the crowd's quietened a little. They need something to get them cheered up. Here comes Aidan Flint, powering towards the halfway line, plays it along the deck. He was looking for Evans, but was caught out by O'Connell, who quickly got his foot in. Good touch from Rathbone to bypass the midfield. Now Dobson plays it out to the right hand side of the area. Fletcher inside the box, tried to stroke it into the far corner. It's too casual almost, Stephen Fletcher. The referee saw that there was a foul on Dobson in the build-up, but wave play on as Wrexham were well placed. And now Fletcher's been caught by Boateng. Meantime, a yellow card for Aidan Flint for that challenge on Dobson as the first move built up. Boateng's escaped a yellow card for that latest challenge on Fletcher, but it is a Wrexham free kick with 11 minutes to go. Midway point of the Mansfield half, out on the right-hand side. Wrexham leading by 2-1 on Talksport 2.
Mansfield need to get hold of this ball, and they're struggling with energy, and they've put a lot into this, but at the moment they're threatening to go out with a bit of a whimper.
So the referee just putting down the old shaving foam, telling Caelan Vickers where to stand. Not quite on the outside of the right corner of the penalty area, Vickers. It's quite a way out for the ball to be swung in, and it's Cleworth that's going to hit it, the man who's bullet of a shot. Has Wrexham in front here early in the second half. In it comes and headed out over the crossbar for a corner to Wrexham. Mo Salah has given Liverpool the lead at Manchester City in the Premier League. Manchester City 0, Liverpool 1.
Who else?
Yeah, I can't think of anybody obvious. Corner kick in front of the Wrexham fans away to our left. They've got 10 minutes to go here They have a 2-1 scoreline to protect Phil Parkinson's men. And as things stand, they're going to go within 3 points of Wycombe Wanderers, who lie in second spot in the League One standings. Corner, fired in by Rathbone, deep to the far post, looking for Smith. Headed away for Mansfield, and Rhodes having to run back towards his own penalty area. Out on the left-hand side, just protects it from Dobson. And then McLaughlin puts his foot through it, gets it up to halfway, and it was well controlled initially by Evans, but then Barnett was straight back at him, drops in centre field, and Hiram Boateng picks it up for Mansfield, turns away from his man and works it wide for Bowery, who's got a bit of space to run into on this near side, tries to go on the outside of Revan gets his foot in front and concedes a throw, but Mansfield have that throw less than 10 yards from the corner flag on the right hand side.
Yeah, and I like that by Bowery. Look, he's probably, his legs are screaming, he's been up and down that wing all game, but thinks, you know what, I'm going to go for it, touches the ball past Revan does well with the defending, but they're penned in now, Wrexham.
Although they've just won a throw as Revan hit the ball against Bowery, who couldn't jink his way past him from that throw-in. And O'Connor's going to take the throw-in just next to where the assistant's standing, not 2 yards from the corner flag on this near side, the Wrexham left. We're going to get some purchase on this throw. Fletcher's an obvious target, gets the flick on, but it drops for Reed, knocks it infield, but Smith onto the loose ball for Wrexham. Rise the challenge, and McLaughlin on halfway moves out to the right hand side. Barnett on the underlap. You also got calling for it on the far post, Fletcher, who was free for just for a second, but the ball never made it across, and Wrexham have actually worked it back into their own half. Here is the captain, O'Connell, diagonal ball right onto the chest of Fletcher, brings it down, kills the ball stone dead, works it up to the edge of the area. Smith gives it back to Fletcher, slides it into the box, Rathbone to the dead ball line, across the face of goal, through the legs of Flinders, stays out, and then Barnett's shot is deflected over the crossbar for a corner to Wrexham away to our left. 2-1 they lead.
Has to be goal, it has to be 3-1. Ollie Rathbone does so well. The ball as well, by the way, from O'Connell. It cuts through the wind because he hits it flat. Fletcher brings it down brilliantly on his chest, but at that point when that rolls across, it almost rolls across the goal line. Someone has to be gambling for Wrexham.
But nobody was. So Tom O'Connor's gone across to take the corner at that James Brunt stand end, right wing corner, so it'll be a left-footed in-swinger from the Wrexham number 6. Several players jostling for position in the centre of the penalty area. In it comes from O'Connor. Flinders went to punch and got nowhere near it, but there was no Wrexham player who could profit from an air punch from Scott Flinders.
I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say it might be the conditions, but he completely flaps it. That gets nowhere near it. Flinders has been less than convincing today.
Ben Waine, the New Zealander, he's going to come on. He's a striker or left winger, really, and he's coming on for Stephen McLaughlin. So another attacking substitution gamble from Nigel Clough, as he's desperate for his team. If they can't win it, don't lose it, to try and get a point. Ben Waine is on for these last few minutes. Just one League One goal this season against Crawley in October. He's on loan from Plymouth Argyle, Ben Waine. He's not got long to get involved in this match. There's 7 minutes of normal time remaining, plus whatever the referee wants to add on for stoppages. Wrexham 2-1 up, and in possession down the left-hand side with Seb Revan. Under pressure from Aaron Lewis, and he's actually conceded a throw to Mansfield. And he's... oh, you players, you're all the same. Just keeping the ball away, just then holding it like it's a silver platter.
Just in time.
There was a kid who did that when I was 12, right, in our school playground. Warren Gray, I remember him. He'd do that with a tennis ball, when you're playing with a tennis ball at half-time. I wanted to kick him 6 feet up in the air when he did that. And that was just a lunchtime game in the school playground.
I could tell how much it's frustrated you, because you can still remember his name.
Oh, yeah, Warren Gray. No, he was a Villa fan, that didn't help. Ball goes up to halfway, but Caelan Vickers can't get a piece of it. Wrexham, that's a bit wasteful there in midfield, giving it back to Bowery, and he hits the ball against Revan and wins a throw. And the Mansfield fans need something to latch onto here, trying to give their team a bit of encouragement. You can hear that around us with 5 minutes of normal time remaining. They're still only 1 goal behind here. Lewis wins a throw, does he? On halfway, yeah, he does. It came off Rathbone last of all. He's put a shift in this afternoon, hasn't he, Ollie Rathbone?
Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant. His energy It's been incredible, and you see it none more so there when that ball rolls across the box. I think nobody gambled on it because I don't think they expected he was going to get there, but does everything he can to keep it in.
Well, Flinders overhit a pass intended for Oshilaja down the left-hand side. It's just gone straight out of play for a Wrexham throw, which they're in no hurry to take, as you can imagine, with a 2-1 lead to protect. And Jack Marriott is going to be on shortly, just getting some final instructions from Phil Parkinson about what's expected of him when he comes on in a minute. I'm assuming that'll be for Smith for another straight swap up front. We've already seen Fletcher go on for Rodriguez. Throw to Mansfield. This may well prompt the change, but the referee has not been alerted by the fourth official, so we play on as Mansfield get the throw in. Goes out of play, and Wrexham now have their on halfway, and this will signal the change. And Marriott is going to come on for Sam Smith. It is another like-for-like switch. So Marriott, who made his return at Shrewsbury recently after getting injured in October, joined a year ago from Fleetwood. And Sam Smith has got the referee at his back saying, come on, move faster than that, please.
Being escorted off by the referee.
That's the sort of run I would make if I was running a marathon and I was in the first mile, never mind the 26th. But he eventually made his way off the field, and Marriott is on to replace him. Lots of industry from Jack Marriott, I should imagine, in these last, 3 minutes of normal time plus whatever is going to be added on. Flint hooks the ball downfield for the Stags, has to head infield towards the edge of the area. Good defending from Bowery, and well claimed on the dead ball line by Flinders to stop that going behind for what would have been a Wrexham corner. Aaron Lewis now picks it up for Mansfield on halfway, tries to fire it in field from this near touchline, and again Rathbone's there with a block. Throw into Mansfield inside their own half. Bowery's retrieved the ball from at the bottom of the stand, gets it back right hand side, hits it against Rathbone once more, who's blocked it out of play. Bowery takes the throw into Aaron Lewis. Chip forward by Bowery, attempted flick on from Rhodes. In steps Dobson to win it, plays a 1-2 with Rathbone, and now away goes Marriott down the left-hand side for Wrexham. Only Fletcher up with him, gets to the left-hand corner of the box. Now there's a few black shirts joining in from midfield. One of them is Dobson, plays it out left to Revan. Revan with a lovely cross. Fletcher went up for the header. Good defending by Oshilaja to head it clear. Yoram Boateng can't get on it, and it should be cleared by Lewis. Well, he tries to clear it, but it's deflected off Revan, and Rathbone picks up the loose ball. Down the left-hand side of the box, 2 minutes to go. Wrexham 2-1 up on Talksport 2. Revan held up by Aaron Lewis. Goes to ground. Referee sees nothing wrong with it. Mansfield want to get the ball downfield, but Rhodes puts Hiram Boateng under a bit of pressure, but Boateng gets it back to Flinders. First time clearance downfield. 3 go up for a header. Rhodes gets something on it, but it drops in the centre circle, and the first player on the scene is Dobson. Good ball out wide right to Barnett, who can run at Oshilaja. Tries to step past him. No foul, says the referee. Wags his finger at Ryan Barnett, saying there was nothing wrong with that. Barnett stayed down, and Mansfield are coming forward. It's with Caelan Vickers. Still no movement from Ryan Barnett. They've got a man advantage for the moment, Mansfield Town. Lewis, right-hand side, faced up by Revan, goes infield to Bowery. Bowery thought about a cross, now puts it in, headed away to the edge of the area. Boateng can't get a piece of it. Still no movement from Ryan Barnett at the other end of the field. Caelan Vickers, twisting and turning left-hand side, wants to get the ball into the box. Only now is Barnett getting up very, very slowly. In comes the cross, headed away by O'Connell. Drops in the centre of the Wrexham half for Flint. The huge cheer you hear is for Ryan Barnett finally getting to his feet. And then Lewis fouls Rathbone and picks up a yellow card. And that's a free kick to Wrexham. And the man advantage that Mansfield had was not made to count. 30 seconds of normal time to go. Wrexham 2-1 up.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Dan. I think the referee, by and large, has had a decent game today, actually. I mean, the fact we've not mentioned him too much says a lot. But for me, he's had an absolute nightmare with that. Barnett's done well. He's marauding down that right-hand side. Little quick manipulation of the ball. I think there's even a step over in there. He moves the ball and he just gets taken out. I don't know how in this world that isn't a free kick.
Well, Matt Corlett let play go on. Barnett did eventually get to his feet. We're moving into 3 minutes of minimum added time here at the one call. Can Wrexham hang on to get a third successive away victory and move themselves to within striking distance of Wycombe Wanderers, just above them in that second automatic spot. Aidan Flint goes to ground. He's conceded a corner under pressure from Jack Marriott. He's frustrated with himself as much as anything, Aidan Flint, that he just couldn't control the ball as it bounced awkwardly in his own penalty area, and Wrexham will take their time over getting this corner back into play.
Yeah, they will, but you said it when Jack Marriott came on. He's a player that gives you a lot of industry, determination, and we see it there. He's got no right really to force Aidan Flint into a mistake, but just for the fact he's harrying and closing down, he does.
And they have taken the corner short. Mansfield try and work the ball down the touchline. It's gone out of play, and they're in no hurry to take it, so a loose ball is provided from the multi-ball system by Ben Waine for Seb Revan. So a minute of that minimum three's gone already, and the ball's down at the Mansfield defensive end of the pitch. Throw in for Wrexham. Stephen Fletcher trying to protect it from the corner flag. Lewis tries to put a foot in. Revan deflects it out of play. Goal kick for Mansfield Town, and they want to get on with things, and they have rolled the ball straight to Scott Flinders, who's not hanging about. Well, he is hanging about. I thought he was going to strike it then he cabbaged it. Now he will hit it. Right-footed, looking for Jordan Rhodes, sails over his and O'Connell's head. Will Evans tries to lob it down the inside left channel, looking for Caelan Vickers. Boateng wins it back. Now Jordan Barry, last chance maybe for Mansfield Town to get something out of this game. Lewis, right wing, it deflects off Revan and goes out of play for a throw 5 yards from the corner flag. Flint's gone up for this throw. It's going to be hurled into the box by Aaron Lewis, looking for a yellow shirt to get onto this. In it comes from Lewis. Flint is the target, trying to get the flick on. It's headed back to Lewis. Lewis tries to nutmeg Revan in the area, can't get past him, and Revan just hits it downfield into the last minute of added time. Flinders, the Mansfield keeper, inside his own half, just hits a right-footed ball down to the left-hand side, deflects off the head of Cleworth and goes out of play for a Mansfield throw. Vickers wants an option. Maybe somebody else will take it, he thinks. No, he's going to throw it into Boateng. Gives it back to Vickers. Into the area. Evans gets in front of his defender. Rhodes tries to shot the edge of the area. Reed tries a shot that's blocked. And then Rathbone picks it up for Wrexham and hooks it up to halfway. But Oshilaja there ahead of Fletcher. Oshilaja goes in again. Dealing in seconds now at the One Call Stadium. Evans out to the left-hand side for Boateng. Ball into the box is deflected. O'Connell takes it on his chest, the captain, calmly, and hoofs it away onto the chest of Stephen Fletcher. Fletcher, little ball laid into the centre circle for Rathbone, trying to set Marriott away, was trying to hold his line and hold his run, but back it goes to Flinders. The 3 minutes are pretty much up, and the referee blows the whistle, and Wrexham have gone to within 3 points of Wycombe Wanderers. In that second automatic promotion spot, they're within striking distance of their promotion rivals after a third successive away win in League One. It was hard fought against a really hard battling Mansfield side. Wrexham were ahead inside 2 minutes through a Callum MacDonald own goal from Rathbone's cross. MacDonald atoned for that error by putting Mansfield level with a super finish at the far post about a quarter of an hour into the first half. But Wrexham were not to be denied, and the best goal of the game by a mile came in the second half. Max Cleworth up from the back, the ball rolled along just outside the area, just before the hour mark, and Cleworth ran onto it and fairly fizzed it home along the deck to get all 3 points for Phil Parkinson's men. Much needed. The Wrexham fans clapping in unison, looking forward to their trip home. It has finished here at the One Call Stadium. Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 2. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Yeah, and I think, look, Mansfield will feel hard done to a degree in terms of the first half. They really competed. They got themselves back in the game after conceding that early goal and showed a lot of promise. But I think the second half, and you mentioned it actually, Dan, you said, I can't remember Mansfield having a clear-cut chance in the second half, and neither do I. And yeah, they huffed and puffed, but I think in the end, the quality and the game management and the experience of those Wrexham players has played out. But you look at this level of performance for Mansfield and you think, how have they lost to the likes of Northampton that are on a poor run? Shrewsbury at the time when they played them were bottom of the table. Crawley as well, not going very well. So it's obviously that the level of application has changed throughout those games. But if they can play like that, continuing throughout the season and be a bit more clinical, they should be absolutely fine. But all credit to Wrexham.
You know, we've mentioned their away form hasn't been the best, but they've ground this one out, and that little bit of quality in the end from Cleworth for me. I mean, it's one of those goals where he doesn't roll across the floor. It's almost an inch off the ground and just flies into the back of the net, about broke the net, and they deserved that, Wrexham. I think they were the better team overall.
Just taking the acclaim of their supporters, the Wrexham players, over to our left-hand side. Just finally, Courtney, do you fancy them to overhaul Wycombe? I mean, we've got that massive game at Adams Park they've got to come in April. I wonder how the table will look when that game rolls around.
Yeah, especially because their away form has picked up as well in the second part of the season. I do, and as you say, look, it could go anyway. I think I mentioned earlier, Birmingham, they were the ones that will finish as champions. There's no doubt about that, but it just puts the importance on that massive game now between Wrexham and Wycombe in April.
Courtney, thank you as always for your company this afternoon. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, former Sheffield United and Liverpool women's striker, part of our team here at the One Call Stadium, where Wrexham are within 3 points of Wycombe after that important 2-1 win here at Mansfield Town. Mansfield stays 6 points above the drop zone, and that's now no win in 10 for Nigel Clough's Stags, with an important run of games to come, just to make sure that they don't slide closer to the trapdoor back to League 2. Up next on Talksport 2, it's the William Hill Sportsbook Club Call of the Warrior, with Adrian Durham and Gareth A. Davis in conversation before we bring you the final round of the Mexico Open from the PGA Tour Golf from 6 p.m. But the final score here as we leave you here at the One Call Stadium was Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 2.